it becomes more independent as we move forward. And I would also like to thank Kenya Export Promotion Brand Agency for supporting and offering crucial partnership to TCC in organizing and making this event possible. Maybe I can start with a little bit about introduction about International Alert. We are a global peace-building organization with over 30 years of experiences, and we work in supporting the communities, advising the governments, organizations, companies, and how to build sustainable peace. We work with diverse range of people in conflict-affected and fragile states to make a positive difference for peace, to improve the substance for an implementation of national and international policies relevant to peace building, and strengthen the peace building sector as a whole. And as a peace building organization, one of our motto is bringing diverse range of stakeholders together so that we can help together to address the core driver of conflict. And private sector is one of the key actors in those processes. And we have worked with private sector in Asia, in Africa, in the Middle East, as well as elsewhere, to help them and exploit their positive role that they can contribute to the peace in large. And we do this by helping them better understand the linkages between conflict and the businesses and the equitable development. We help them enhancing their capacity and integration of conflict-sensitive business practices and support them to engage in meaningful dialogues for policy reforms that does not only benefit the business, but also benefits the community and society at large. We're working in Kenya since 2016, working to support the local capacities, including the private sector, to advance the peace, prosperity, and the equitable development as envisioned in Kenya's 2010 constitution. And in Turkana, as Ben said, discovery of oil has definitely changed a lot of socio-economic way of life, which you are witness of that. And if it's managed well, definitely it can transform Turkana from what it is today to what it can become tomorrow. But again, this can be only possible if communities are meaningfully and inclusively engaged in all the processes, and development benefits are equitably shared, so everyone feel part of that process. And we, as Ben said, we are working with the SIPE, CDA Collaborative Learning, another our partner, as well as Kapuchi Resource Management Organization, CARMO, who is in the ground in implementing this, enabling good governance in the oil sector project in Turkana East and Turkana South sub-counties. And it's funded by the USAID, and we are very thankful to USAID for their support. The overall goal of the project is to enable environment for multi-stakeholder dialogue on conflict-sensitive governance, and we want to achieve this by increasing the capacity and trust between these stakeholders, including the government, the communities, the private sector, as well as the oil companies, to come together to undertake these dialogues and discussions as we are envisioning, as we are seeing today. Similarly, help them identify and reduce the grievances that may arise and develop the best practices so that these lessons not only inform other works in Turkana but beyond. And we've been working with the communities to help them understand the issues, building their capacity and knowledge to address emerging conflict issues peacefully and constructively engage with the duty bearers, including the Turkana County government, national government representative, and oil operator. And through SIPE, we have worked with the TCC to enhance private sector's knowledge and capacity, strengthen the networking and partnership to build resilient local economy, and integrate conflict-sensitive business practices in their day-to-day operations. And I'm very happy to say, with all these efforts, not only by the Alert but by other organizations, Turkana Chamber of Commerce have become very active voice for the local business in Turkana. And I would really thank the leadership of TCC to achieve this goal. Obviously, due to climate emergencies, Turkana's traditional means of economy is changing, and it's already impacted. Discovery of oil may have rejuvenated the local economy, but how long it can last, as Ben said, it's not infinite. So, and also the emergence of COVID-19 has impacted the local economy significantly. I think Turkana is no exception to that. With all these challenges, the private sector in Turkana needs to be innovative and adaptive to identify various opportunities to diversify and protect local economy. And I'm very pleased to see this partnership and the support of collaborative partners. I see ILO here, I see LAPSET here, I see other organizations here. TCC has managed to come along a long way. And as an umbrella network of the business in Turkana, it has become influential voice to raise needs and interests of the sector. And I believe today's forum will play a good provide a good mileage towards that goal in pursuing of widening and enhancing the markets for Turkana's business sector. And in future, Alert will continue to work with the private sector, including TCC, to build business voices for peace and good governance, as well as equitable development. And we welcome any potential partnership with any other organizations in advancing and addressing the conflict drivers and peaceful economies. So lastly, on behalf of the consortium, once again, I would like to thank everyone who is present here today for gracing us and providing your valuable time. I would also like to thank USAID for the financial support which enabled us to be here today and discuss the possibilities and opportunities that exist. Similarly, I would like to thank TCC and SAI for all the coordination and hard work to bring us all together, and I know how much effort it goes into that. And lastly, I would like to thank Turkana County Government for supporting, being part there as a stakeholder, as well as an encouraging actor to the private sector, as well as to us to hear and listen all this interesting opportunity that comes along. So once again, thank you very much, and I look forward to any discussions and engagement that may come along. And I'm traveling to Turkana next week, and I hope to see Mr. Seisi, if it's possible, to meet next week in Turkana as well. Thank you so much.
You see the value of these types of engagements. Bonasi, see the request is already on your table, isn't it? That's a great strategy, taking the chance when you have it. So thank you so much. And at this point, I would like us to have a longer conversation about the opportunities that Turkana presents for business. And to make this presentation, I would like to invite Mr. Francis Edome, who is the CEO of the Turkana County Chamber. He'll be taking us through the opportunities for business there. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you.
Let's clap for him.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Francis Edome. Honorable Charles Lokieto, who is the CC, Trade, Gender and Youth Affairs, Turkana County, is also accompanied by the Chief Officer, Acting Chief Officer James Lokwale, the KNCCI network headed by the second Vice President, Fatima Helmawi. She's been to Turkana, and also accompanied by Samuel Matonda. We've been communicating on the CEO forum, the development partners present, International Labour Organization, International Alert, SIPE, and I cannot stop this discussion without appreciating EPROBA. You have come a long way with them, supporting us during the discussions to have this event successful. At this point, I want to appreciate the discussion we have since we started this engagement last year by actually making a presentation of the economic opportunities that Turkana County presents, so that you can actually see for yourself why an investor in your personal capacity also engaging with others so that they can invest in Turkana. So at this point, can you start opening the clips, please? Okay, basically that is what we're presenting. It's basically an assessment which was done for the available opportunities, and it gives you the highlights of the products from livestock, artwork, and the handcraft that we have in Turkana County. It is followed by the livelihood zones, the existing livelihood zones in Turkana. Next. The livelihood zones, basically, it highlights the various locations, sub-counties, and what is existing in each one of those locations in terms of pastoralism, fisheries, where we have formal employment, pastoralism. This you can actually look at it that almost 90% is actually pastoral resources in terms of livestock and in terms of fisheries. Next slide. As Ben was putting it, Turkana is actually the second largest county and occupying about 13.5% of Kenya. So you can imagine that landmass. So those are the borders and the international borders of Uganda, South Sudan, and Ethiopia, and the Lake Turkana occupying the eastern side of Turkana County. We have the neighboring counties, West Pokot, Baringo, Samburu, Marsabit, and all these are opportunities for the Turkana County and the Turkana people with, that is the population. Kwa hivyo sio watu wachache, watu wengi. Next slide. Okay, now these are now the opportunities by sector. You can actually look at infrastructure as a key enabler for long-term development, where road infrastructure is very, very important. We have inadequate housing, mainly with a high concentration of population in Lodwar, Lokicha, Kakuma, and Lokchogyo. And there is high potential for low-quality housing, gated communities, which have become popular in Nairobi. And the construction industry is highly needed. We also have potentials in the water and the natural resources, water, minerals, and wildlife. In water, we have those 5 permanent water sources, which Ben had highlighted. The River Takwel is a key area, having flowing into Lake Turkana. There's riverine vegetation with a bigger percent of riverine irrigation taking place, although in subsistence level, but there is commercial production of majorly fruits and vegetables. There is an exploitation which has not been tapped there for riverine pond fishing. The aquifers, we have the aquifers in Lotikipi, Nakalale, Napuhu, that is within Lodwar, and also we have the springs. The springs are, for the springs, they're categorized under, let's go back. We have the cold springs, we have the hot springs, we have the warm springs cut across Turkana County. That is now the minerals, quite a number of minerals existing in Turkana, and the level and the level of usage and the potential is huge, though they have not been untapped. They have not been tapped. You can actually look at them. When you are going to go to the exhibition, you really appreciate this is not just ESA, it's an opportunity for people to exploit. Still the number of minerals existing, gold. Then we have the oil. The oil is estimated at close to 600 million barrels. So you can imagine that huge potential. The geothermal is existing in many parts of Turkana, from Muruan-Kokolak, from Kapedo area, Silale, all the way to Paka, and the whole area within the rift, within that rift covering the Sukta Valley. Next. That is the minerals map, actually showing you where the minerals, you can literally see that in almost every location, every small site in Turkana, there are minerals existing. You can actually look at that legend that the minerals are located almost in every location. Those are the Turkana precious stones. These are there. It's not a story. They're there. And there's a lot of potential for exploitation, which is ongoing at the moment, but very, very low key. Next. Wildlife also, I had mentioned on that. We have wildlife in, there's aquatic wildlife, the hippopotamus, the crocodiles, turtles, there's also mud turtles, and a cross section of existing wildlife in our parks, the bush pigs, bats, baboons, monkeys, tortoises, leopards, hyenas, lions. Yeah, the elephants and the buffaloes seems to be disappearing somehow. Now, the potential in the lake. Lake Turkana presenting the fishing and blue economy in the cross-section of ingredients. It's the largest permanent desert and alkaline lake. 50 fish species, and only 11 have been exploited. So the main catch are Nile perch, tilapia, mudfish, and kingfish. In terms of the migratory bird species, you can actually see there's lots. Unexploited opportunities in fishing, fish processing industries, fish feeds, construction of fish ponds, ornamental fishing. Next. The energy sector also remains unexploited. Turkana is the only county that receives more than 10 hours of daily sunlight. And it receives between 4 to 6 kilowatts per meter cubic of solar radiation. So it has the potential for exploitation of solar energy production. Wind power, there are areas which have potential for wind energy, mainly around the southern end of Lake Turkana, or except others in the island areas within Turkana West. We have Oropoi, Nadwat, and now within the lake region we have Kokro, Luarengak, Kataboy, Kalapon, and Longech. These areas have high potential of wind power, just like opposite Lake Turkana, the Lake Turkana wind power. Livestock and agriculture, Turkana is largely driven by livestock keeping. That it can't go without saying. As we remember in the livelihood zones, it was clear. The opportunities, they are numerous, highlighted there. Export of livestock, packaging, export zones, transformation of idle land for egg production and farming. There's milk storage. It's peaking a bit in Lodwar, but still at low level. Next. There are tourist attractions that border the opportunities in Turkana County, and these include being the cradle of mankind, the great archaeological findings, and the rich history and heritage presents opportunities for archaeological tourism and museums. The 3 national parks, we have the South Turkana Game Reserve, we have the Narikotome, Turkana Boy. Cultural tourism that is held annually has been a game changer, attracting more than 5,000 guests in Turkana County. There's ecotourism, there's establishment of amusement parks, lake yachting, sail sports, fishing, and water sport is still untapped. There is opportunities in hotels industries, expanding conferences, event facilities, and desert safaris similar to the popular Dakar within Lodwar is just amazing. The opportunity is there. Now, what are the challenges that are actually facing the businesses, the entrepreneurs, not to be able to invest in some of these presenting opportunities. Firstly, there is the poor market accessibility of products due to poor road network and lack of appropriate information. And that's why this session, this dialogue is important for expanding access to our products. Inadequate finance to start and expand businesses, because most of the banks in Turkana, they require collateral for you to be able to get the loan, and you have challenges to get the loans. There's also the point of paying bills. There is the delayed payments after goods and services, which is actually holding some of the investments in the businesses. There's aspects of inadequate skilled labor due to high illiteracy. Education levels are still low, and this affects business outcomes. There is key problem on cattle rustling that is impacting on security, because it hinders business growth and expansion in the counties. Next. So, what then are the proposed recommendations? Enhance market access through information sharing, business networks, and building linkages. This is why we want to have those linkages. Facilitation to financial access for credit, very important. Better land policy to enable enterprises to buy land, expand businesses. Security improvement, creation of better public roads, government support in creating office workspaces for ministries to expand presence and improve service delivery. Because sometimes a department within the national government may not establish an office in Turkana County because they say, oh, we don't have office space there. No, that kind of problem is actually hindering those kind of opportunities. We need promotion of education to the local youth to be able to engage in meaningful business and security, decent inclusive job opportunities for the youth, as well as the refugees, host communities, in order for them to have a better living standards. Lobbying for a conducive environment, this kind of engagement that we are having now. Capacity building on technical skills through expanded debates. This is the ongoing discussions that we have. A presentation also wanted to present to you what are some of the factors that make Turkana County a world-class investment. Those are also the many factors which embody the discussion which we've already discussed, the points, the highlights which you have already said. I think I don't want to actually labor so much on that, but I want to highlight a point here that currently there is a world stadium being developed in Lodwar, and this is going also to create more impetus for investment around Lodwar, with more housing requirements and more sports in the county. The extended and long stretch of Ile beaches is there, and this is where the resort city is also going to be built. Next, the hotel industry. We have a bed capacity of 2,524. In 2013, there was only 9 or 3. You can imagine how devolution has actually made to this increase, so to speak. So we must all appreciate devolution and actually take it a notch higher. An increase of 1,621 bed capacity. And finally, thank you so much. So as we continue the program, there is also a plan Hello. I think also when you look at the program, when we'll be winding, we have the exhibition stands, which are going to have a look at them so that you can actually appreciate the products we've identified. And we had also planned to have more or less like a virtual connection with the refugee population in Kakuma for the importance of appreciating integration. However, due to connectivity challenges, we are not able to do that. So at this point, I would like to invite the CEC from Turkana County, Honorable Charles Lokioto, to come and make his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francis. Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to repeat, I am Charles Lukiote Woy, the CEC for Trade, Gender and Youth Affairs. So you are all represented in my office, so we are all together. Firstly, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate everybody who has made time to come here. You know, in Turkana, we are in hardship. And again, we have come to Nairobi. This morning, there's a lot of hardship. It's just too cold. But it is subjecting us to putting a lot of clothes that we feel very heavy. First and foremost, I want to recognize Mrs. Fatma El-Wai, the second vice president. That too, I would also like to recognize Mr. Ben Kiragu, who indeed has a lot for us. And I want to say in this meeting, he will be part of our marketing in Nairobi, so that we have people that get that information. And I will also want to recognize Rubinda, who in this meeting, I welcome you to Turkana. I will be ready to receive you in Turkana once you tell me you will be coming on this date. Thank you very much, because it is a few people who will take that initiative to say we want to go to Turkana. There have been a lot of stories, negative stories, stereotype stories about Turkana, but good enough, we are people who have been there and can be able to attest to situations that are in Turkana. And I also want to recognize the chair, Turkana National Chamber of Commerce, and his entire team, that with the coordination they have had with the Center for International Private Enterprise, have enabled us to meet here as a group. Then I also want to recognize the LabSet. LabSet is still our baby. Every time we hear of LabSet, we get motivated. But this is another investment that will bring us the information we require. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a good morning that we, from the areas we have come from, we have come here to engage. And I want to appreciate the synergies we have all brought together, such that from our diverse backgrounds, we are able to sit here and say, this is what we want to do. I want to say we have worked with the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce for some time. Even before this dispensation, there was the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Turkana, but it was not as vibrant as it is now. So our journey with the Chamber of Commerce, Turkana, began with the signing of MOU by the national office with the Council of Governors. That was somewhere in 2018. Then in 2018, then we had an office that was there. By then, the county government provided an office space. That was in 2018. That is part of partnership that we have. One of the ways we have had partnership with the chamber. And in 2019, there was a new office, election of the new office, which is currently driving the chamber with the chairmanship of Mr. Pius Lewoton. Then the Department of, or the Ministry of Trade was part of the supervision of the election that brought that team into the office. Then from there, we have had a number of activities with the chamber. One of these is we have, with the chamber, they have been able to move around the county to talk to their membership to see what is good for the members and how do they become members. So in those activities, one, they have registered 2,300 members across the county. We are not saying that is enough, because given what colleague Edome said of 926, if you remove the youth, those that have not attained the status of doing that business, that is a very small number. That still requires other partners to come in so that we reach, because there are areas that we have not reached. We have about 3 sub-counties that we have been unable to reach. Not because they are hard to reach, but it is because the facilitation that enables the membership and the office to reach there has not been substantive. Then the other thing we have done with the chamber is they have been able to train the traders, 4,300 across the county. That is not enough. There is still much to be done. I also want to appreciate the partnership with Keproba. Keproba has always been part of the chamber and part of us. They have been able to guide around 24 SME groups. We have not reached, we are yet to get into the branding, because the products of Turkana need to be marketed at home, nationally, regionally, and internationally. And it is branding that will be able to do that. As we go into the exhibition room, we will be able to see that. So working that way, we will still require that we get a system, or we get the process that will be able to have the branding done as it is. So to ensure that we reach out we market Turkana. Other than the products, we have been able to send, the chamber has been able to engage internationally. They have been able to reach Uganda, discuss with other traders, areas in Moroto and in Entebbe, Uganda, then in Southern Sudan, then in Uganda. Those are international borders that we want to tap. Then in addition to that, we have established a market, an international border, the border markets in a place called Loya. Loya now neighbors West Pokot. It neighbors Uganda. So, and in that place, we will soon launch that market. And once we are ready to learn through the chamber, we will invite some of you so that we see how do we interact with our neighbors from the other county and the other country. Because we have people from Uganda, we have people from West Pokot. You know, when we mention West Pokot, or when we mention Pokot, sometimes some people get annoyed, especially people like Edome. he knows why he gets annoyed. So again, in a place like called Lokriama, that is still the border of Turkana and Uganda, we have also established a livestock market and market for other commodities. So again, there we have very little to finish. The market is ready, but we only have something small called a warehouse, which we will complete. Once we complete, we want to launch so that we have interaction around that place. Then Uganda, in Ethiopia, we have two corridors. We have the Kibish, then we have the Todanya. Those are two corridors that as we move on, we want to exploit so that we have that area. So we have not done so much, but we have done substantially what we were able to do. And currently we still have an MOU discussing with the chamber in Turkana, so that we see in that MOU what are we able to do together, what is the chamber able to do alone, in order to promote the business community. The government has had 3 funds established. So one of these is the Youth and Women Empowerment Fund. In March, we did disburse around 66 million, which translated to 1,000 members. This is cuts across the county. We will again have some funds by September or October. Then again, we will disburse them. Then the second fund is Biashara Fund, which we have not disbursed. And we will disburse by August. Then the other fund is the cooperative fund. The cooperative fund, we have, as you looked at areas, potential areas of opportunities. You did hear about the leg, you did hear about the meat, you did hear about the hides and skin. So once this one we talk of cooperatives, that will go to groups. Then the youth and women empowerment go to youth, to groups. But for Biashara will go to individual traders. So that will also go across the county. You know, you see, I do like this. The mask, he has decided to reduce the air. So the purpose of those funds is to ensure that we have a big number or a good number of people who are engaged in business, such that if we have the youth, they can get their fund through the youth empowerment, youth and women empowerment. Women can also get from that, but youth who are engaged in business and want to go individual, they will get from Biashara. Those that are members of cooperative, they will go into the cooperative. Then on quality assurance, we have also used our Department of Weights and Measures to ensure that whatever the traders are doing is the right thing. Then with the partnership with the chamber, then the finance, the Department of Revenue, we have been able to move into to enforce the licensing. And in enforcing the licensing, I don't know whether it is only in Turkana or everywhere, where you have cheeky traders. They write there wholesale. But when you get inside, when you tell them a kilo of sugar, you see him getting under the counter, removing a kilo of sugar. So what business are you engaged in? Is it wholesale or retail? So we did handle that in one area in Lodwar. We have not gone outside those other areas. But those are things we need to bring the chamber inside so that their members, when they complain, the chamber is in and is able to say, no, you know, you are my member, but what you are doing to another member is not good. So that is how we want to remove these blame games when we are working. Then in conclusion, I know the bell rang sometime. In conclusion, I want to say this, that investing in Turkana is ideal. So if we have investors, which I know we have, I want to differ with the other man in one thing, two things. One is on the road network. Now, from Getale, and very soon we will reach to Sudan, the road is good. After all, you will not invest in, you will invest in those bigger towns, call it Lukchar, Lokori, Lodwa, Kakuma, Nadapal, Lokchogyo. So these are lines, because that is where the population is. 926,000 is not a small number, and business needs numbers. So it is those numbers. Then two, the land is massive. Si hapa watu wanapigana kwa miguu tu ya 1 meter. There's a lot of land there. So we need big investment to come there. If you come, we have no issues of land. We will only say if this was an area for so and so, inheritance for so and so, we will talk. So don't fear about land. There is land. The Lapsat man know we have a lot of land. The other thing we have in Turkana, which will endear everybody to settle there. We are very peaceful people. Safety. You can sleep out in Turkana and nobody cares what you do. So these small things in insecurity, it is like even in this town, you have guys, wale wanapiga ngeta. Isn't that insecurity? But that is an isolated case. We have accidents in this town. Hata ile inatokea huko inaweza kuwa kama, so don't be scared. Those are pockets. Ile iko kila mahali. So when you hear about Turkana, don't say, when I go there, I am done. No, you are not done until you invest. So the other thing why it is good, why you can invest in Turkana, we have unexploited potential, which Edome mentioned, all of them. The 3 international borders. So Turkana is a logistical hub where you will settle. From there you can connect to Uganda. From there you can connect to South Sudan. From there you can connect to Ethiopia. And from there you can connect to Nairobi. Other than Nairobi, which other town has 5 flights a day? Where? If it is not Turkana. So Turkana is next to Nairobi. It is next to Nairobi. You just fly, you can fly there, work, and come to Nairobi. Or you can fly here, work, come, or vice versa. So these are things that we need. The network is across the county. There are only small pockets. Even Nairobi here, I'm told when you are in the estate, you come to town, if you want to deposit money, unless you call so that the phone can recognize you are in town, you are told you make a call. Before you deposit any money, make a call. So these things are all over. So Turkana County, the Department of Trade, Gender and Youth Affairs is ready working with the chamber and ready to work with other partners. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
In fact, I could not interrupt, isn't it? First of all is to say that I have not met a CEC for Trade who has captured the heart of private sector the way he has. Did you hear how he was presenting the successes of the chamber? Yes. As his, isn't it? That there's a sense of, in fact, we were whispering with men and saying the sense of ownership is so strong, because as he's talking about your numbers, it's as if he sits in your office, isn't it? So really so happy, so inspired, and also the very strong reasons for, the very many reasons why we need to invest. Even I felt challenged, so I will come maybe as, I'll be behind him. I'll be coming to ask where can I get a small piece of land to start my investment project. So thank you so much. And really, I think it has been such a great preface for the presentation from the chamber, because at this point, I would like to invite the chamber chairman.
Eli Mawi, the Vice President for Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, Honorable Charles Lokioto, our CC for Trade, Gender and Youth Affairs, General Manager, who is being represented here by, I hope the Dr. is here for Keproba. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Keproba, CEO KNCCI, Samuel Matonda, Ben Kiragu, our Country Director for SIPE, that is Center for International Private Enterprise. I also take this opportunity to recognize the presence of the Chief Officer for Trade, Gender, Youth and Affairs, Mr. Lokwale, Carol Njuki, ILO Technical Advisor, who have been very supportive to the Chamber. International Alert Representative here with us. We acknowledge and recognize your presence. I hope I've not forgotten anybody. I salute all of you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Allow me to take this early opportunity to thank all of you for creating time out of your busy schedules to attend this important function. This is a clear demonstration of the importance you attach to further developing the county of Turkana. Special thanks go to SIPE for actually facilitating this event. There was a delay. We were supposed to have done it sometimes before March, and because of the cessation and closures, well, of course, there was even a time we thought we could do it virtually, and then we kept on postponing. But I thank God for that it has taken place today as a way forward where we strengthen public-private dialogue partnership. This is a follow-up on what we did last year in Lodwar, where the Chamber organized with the support of SIPE also, and we brought on board the governor, and from UNHCR we had representatives. We also had a representative from KISDEP. So it was a very successful event. And it's in that event that we discussed the issue of MOU that was signed, was it in October last year, between the COG and KNCCI. So what else we are trying to do is to see how we can domesticate that. It was actually being, it was being discussed also in that fora, which has actually given birth to this one. It gives me great pleasure to see close partnership between the Turkana Chamber and the county government. You can actually see it even from the speech that was made by CEC. We are working very closely. There are quite a lot of issues that we discuss with the ministry that have actually enabled us as a chamber to do very well. When he took over this office, in 2019, actually the end of the year, after a lengthy 1 year of battles in courts because of leadership and wrangles within the chamber, which can be attested by my CVP here. We had only 300 members in the chamber. But today, we are proud of the 2,300 members, or 2,400 members. And of course, Waziri amesema, we must up our game again so that we can target. There's a target of around 8,000 members. But I thank ILO for that case also, because ILO has really helped us. We are moving out very fast because of the issue of profiling of businesses and also reaching out to so many members. We acknowledge and appreciate that. Carol. As a county chamber, we can attest to the values of that partnership, which has given us support through creation of the Biashara Fund, which has so far been allocated 200 million Kenya shillings for SMEs, the Women and Youth Fund, and the cooperative, injecting a total of 300 million. We also appreciate constant consultation we have had with the ministry, and of course also other departments within the county government, especially the livestock, as we are focusing on trade and in terms of export. As you all understand that the world is very dynamic, there's a lot in the global sphere that calls upon the chamber as a private sector lead organization to support governments. Our role is basically to be catalytic, that is, become magnesia, in the sense that we catalyze but we remain unchanged because we sustain our focus. When we read today's headlines every day on trends and export, we don't need vivid imagination to think how it sounds very competitive, especially from the geopolitical rivalry that has made so many countries to prosper, but still threatens the existence of our small economies. Despite unprecedented prosperity in many global markets, this effect has not been extended to our countries and communities. That's why up to date, we are still experiencing serious poverty levels in our society. And that's why we as a chamber and other partners, and of course county governments also, and extension, the national government, we work towards strengthening SMEs. Because it's from the strengthening of SMEs we build the local value chain. So in that value chain, we complete the circle. Once you complete the circle, meeting all the standards, now you have Kaproba. Kaproba tells us now, these are the markets. This is how you are supposed to access them. And that's why we are seated here today, to ensure that we finalize that circuit. We as a chamber, at that level, we pick on those gaps. We pick on those gaps that are there and try to see how we can bridge them. Because as we speak, or as I speak here, the county government of Turkana spends not less than 3 billion annually on production, especially livestock and agriculture. But when it comes into the final output, in terms of reaping from what you put in investment, you realize you cannot see that. What you always experience is drought, famine, unemployment. So as a private sector, we don't sit back. And that's why the Chamber of Turkana, we are picking it up very keenly, trying to see that gap. Why are we not able to export? Why is that money going in and not coming out? So that's why we are seated here today, to see how best we can think around that, so that we maximize on our input in terms of output also. In today's forum also, let us think something about communication technologies that have actually accelerated trade, goods and services, bring investment and jobs. So as we move towards trying to get access to our products internationally or even within the region, we must think how we can take advantage of communication, take advantage of IT, so that we can trade from our areas, because there's an opportunity. Like now we are doing fashion. There are people who are watching us through Facebook, through Twitter, and all that. Right now when we are seated here, we can actually utilize that opportunity to trade. And as a chamber, we are very keen about it. It falls under our thematic areas to ensure that the IT, and especially ensuring the young people take advantage of that, and they partake a very big role in ensuring that they participate in the markets. For us to achieve sustainable access to markets, because actually initially I thought the governor would come, but unfortunately because of the emergency that came about, there were issues that I thought we could discuss, but so far the CEC has mentioned. One is the issue of MOU. We are picking that understanding that was signed between the National Chamber and Council of Governors. There are some key things we have picked. And CVP, I think in our last meeting in Lodwar, you can attest to that, the governor had promised that that MOU is going to be looked at by both sides, so that we domesticate key things. What am I talking about here is there are some key activities we are meant to engage with the county government that will enable us even to improve our marketing systems on that level. We are thinking of, which I had actually shared with CEC yesterday, about having a small task force that can enable the private sector to engage with the county government. A task force that can look at why are we not exporting, why are our products not getting to the market. So that task force will enable us to look at those challenges and come up with solutions in a very united way. And also maybe the county government will definitely in one way be able to support financially, so that we can reach out to the producers and also the marketers. There was something I suggested, especially just to have hanging fruits, the issue of fast-tracking some centers in Turkana. There's a center for Kerio and Apelilim for quality assurance and attainment of international export standards. That is something critical that we need to look at. Waziri is very key, so that we can merge your ministry and the one for livestock, and see this, how we can operationalize these two particular centers. The chamber commends the partnership between Turkana County Government and International Labour Organization on support of vocational training. That is to enable, that's an investment towards active labor market and skills building to keep people to thrive amidst trade and technological change, and in extension support private sector development. As Carol mentioned earlier, we are already engaging the chamber, because at the national, we follow what the national does. Once the national signs an agreement, we domesticate it. So there's an agreement that was signed between the National Chamber and Federation of Juakali Association. So we have actually taken that and we are running away with it. Yes, we are running away with it. Yes. So that we are actually in the same structure of engagement. So it's something we're working on. We are profiling the businesses in the Juakali. Right now for Lodwar Town, we have around 400 members from here. So that they also engage structurally to be able to commit. As Carol mentioned earlier, is about what ILO is doing with us. It's something worth to mention here. In the understanding we signed this year around March, institutional development, which now we are following it up with an assessment, a survey we are undertaking on cooperatives. We want to understand how the cooperatives operate in Turkana. There are around 72 cooperatives, and quite a number of them are dormant. So that survey will enable us to understand what is happening in that sector. It is one of the things that we are working on with ILO. On the issue also of decent work for both host and refugee communities in Kakuma Kalobeye community. So far we have done the sensitization on COVID-19 safety occupational safety, because we cannot open if we don't take care of ourselves, because we'll normally be going back to recurring closures. So we are doing that sensitization. Market linkages is also another area we are working on. What we are talking about market linkages is trying to see, even from the businesses, intra-market linkages. Intra-market linkages is where you look at counties which are bordering us. We try to see how best we can link up. What Transvaal produces, and Turkana may not be producing, we leverage on that. The same with the Baringo. Of course, for Baringo, the chamber, we are looking at it critically also on that linkages. It's one of the hotspots. And as a chamber, we're not going to sit back because we can't trade. So we want to engage both the county government and the national government to create an enabling environment for our businesses in that particular area, which has been affected so much by constant, we call it banditry. Even today, as we speak, initially we thought we were going to have that fire show, showcasing our products. Unfortunately, France said the network is not good. Kakuma, Kalobeye area is one of the economic backbones of Turkana County. We talk about an economy worth 6.2 billion annually. We can't sit back. That's why when even the government was talking about closures, we were like, oh, kindly just rethink. Yes, we as a chamber, we made a statement about that. The government should think about it. Because first and foremost, the communities living there, these are East African communities, which anybody can get displaced due to climatical change, and you can get displaced. So we are looking at that. In that consideration, they have to look at it from the East Africa integration, so that these communities cannot get affected due to the closures. So as a chamber, we are keen on that, and strengthening market linkages between the communities and even the Jokwali artisan in the refugee setup. We are trying to look at how they can link up with the rest. Because if you have a very hardworking and able community that's able to trade among themselves, then you have a very active private sector that is able to influence its issues. Cognizant of the critical role played by Keproba in marketing, Turkana County Chamber will take this opportunity to continuously embark on strengthening that relationship, to be able to advance on strategic partnership. So Ben, we thank you so much for linking us up with Keproba so that we are able to move further and try to look and explore areas of common interest and, of course, market access for international markets. With those few remarks, it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Samuel Matonde, the CEO for the National Chamber, to make keynote address. Wishing all a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Allow me to remove this so that you'll see my face. Honorable Chamber Vice President 2, Madam Fatima, representatives of various organizations, that is SIPE, ILO, International Alert, Madam Floyce from Keproba. They want to announce that she has been my colleague. I'm not new in Keproba. I think I worked in Keproba for 7 years. And this program, I can say that I also was part of the persons who initiated it, and the CEO can confirm that. I think he's smiling. So I'm seeing the fruit of what I sowed or planted some time back. I'm happy for that. Honorable CEC, for Turkana County. I really like your passion on trade. I've been in the county, one of the county governments, but I don't think I've seen such a passion in any other CEC, just like it was mentioned earlier. And that shows why there is a very good working relationship between the government and the private sector. And this shows that devolution is working. Thank you very much for that. Chairman, this is very, very important and commendable for the kind of work you're doing. Improving from one step to another, from 300 to, which number is that?
2,400.
And then looking to 8,000. Others will follow as you lead. Yeah, that is it. And I think that is very commendable. I don't want to really miss my words on that. And all protocols observed. Sorry if I have not mentioned and recognized you. ILO, sorry, very important. ILO, my immediate past employer, I initiated a concept on micro and small enterprises. And you are working very closely with them to do a marvelous job on MSMEs. We are in 47 counties, and I know you are muscle. I know. So I'll engage you more so that we are able to work out and chart a path best for Turkana, and then more, of course, for the other 47 counties. And I think that is something that we can discuss after this. That one I'm talking about, I know you have already leased 300 million to them, because I'm still in copy in the conversation. Not 2 million, but 300 million. So there are things that we can work together, and I think it is important that we have this very important partner and all the partners. Saip, you've done, Ben, thank you very much, and team. What you've done, I think it's very clear. Before I go to my notes, allow me to really say that there is a lot of good that awaits us. I first came to Turkana County when I was working for the Export Promotion Council then, because I was the first regional manager in Eldoret. That office in Eldoret is the one, I was the person holding it. Then I remember one day, I drove all the way to the headquarters. I was there by around 9, so you can imagine what time I left Kitale. I had meetings, then I had to drive back because there was another meeting in Kitale. And what made me do that? In fact, actually, my former CEO was like, Sam, why didn't you sleep? But it's you gave me this a job here and this, and I didn't want to miss visiting Turkana. And since that time, there's been a lot that has happened. So there is a lot of opportunity. The products there include precious stones. We've talked about handicrafts, livestock, fish, tourism, and we've seen so many other opportunities. And thank you, Ben, for that eye-open again, and the CEO, the chamber CEO, the International Alert. I've seen your poster here. You're talking about oil and how we can do it sustainably. I've just mentioned Keproba, because I may not come back again. There is a program that we are running at Keproba, and that was, I was one time the manager in charge of export market development, and at another time product development. And I trust and believe that this is anchored under product and export market development, because we were having a chain from inceptualizing that product, looking at an opportunity, utilizing it, and making sure that this product reaches the market. And that's exactly how it is. And that was being sponsored by Danida at that time. Fortunately, devolution is there, and we have all these partners. So I think we want to work together and see how best can we really tap into this, because government only facilitates. So I've come on this side where now we want to really actualize and fill the missing gap, as the chairman said. So that is very key. I want to just point out that Turkana County, I've seen there are so many opportunities, Mheshimiwa. Now it's you to convince, as you're working, you have already convinced so many of us. That kind of working relationship means there is goodwill from government. And government comes with the security, comes with the assurance, comes with the the policies, everything is in order, and it means that when you are exporting whatever we are going to export will not be overtaxed. But I'm seeing there's this dialogue whereby we know that we don't hurt business so that they can grow. And I think when you have that already, you don't have to say, please come. All those who are following and the business community are already getting convinced that yes, there is a conducive investment environment that is actually being promoted. And then we'll see a lot of events happening. I've already said that devolution works, and for sure it works. The Federation, we signed an MOU, and I want to pick from what the Turkana Chamber chairman said. We've signed more than 100 MOUs. And more than those 100 MOUs, one of them is actually the COG, the MOU with the COG, Council of Governors. How many counties do we have? 47. How many have picked on that MOU, looked at it, seen what can benefit them, and customized it? Well, I have Turkana County here, and I have a confirmation that that is something that has worked. So we have MOUs with so many countries whereby some of these countries want your products. So your CEO, get in touch with us, look at those MOU, because you've already shown that you are able to really crack it down and ensure that you customize and implement it. Come, and especially the QCC countries, so that next time you want to go and exhibit these livestock in that particular market, so that they can come and see that yes, you have the capacity to supply, they will fly. They come with a jet and land there, and they'll see, and they will be ready market for that. So look at these MOUs that we have. Don't go back to Turkana before you come and I got a file yesterday. Since 1981, I've done an analysis. By the way, I've been here for 2 months. This is my 3rd month. I think so. But I've been in the sector for 24 years. So I'm not new in the sector. You see, I've said I worked in Kepropa for 7 years, another one. So I looked at and I analyzed all the MOUs until the most recent one, which we signed last week. And I saw a lot of opportunity for the counties. But we have these products which are, we pump in 3 billion per year, we get back maybe 1 billion. So we make a profit of negative 2 billion every year. I didn't want to say loss, so I want to be positive. So we make a profit of negative 2 billion every year, and the lost time and lost opportunity. So I think I really love this. This forum is very important, and I think we can pick it from there. And when you see now, you are seeing how you will assist me to craft the concept on how you're going to assist us. Because I'm trying to tell you, we'll craft it together with you. You will guide me, because I'm just saying where I'm seeing an opportunity and where you can come in. And Saib the same. And Alat and all those stakeholders here. And we'll work together as a team, because Keproba must be there to do the branding of this. Because we want to go there, we don't want to appear like this, something done shortly from some county somewhere. You go there talking of, I love tourism, so I think I'll be visiting there with my family soon. So when Mushmiwa will come, so that I can really see exactly that. And that means we want to see how we can actualize what we've been, signing is on paper. The value of that MOU is what we are seeing here. And I really love this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I'll engage you more. Allow me now to go to this official comment. It is an honor to be invited to address such an influential business audience here today. The business community plays a significant role in the industrial and economic development of Kenya, both at the national and county level. My special thanks go to all Turkana County partners who have supported this forum. I especially recognize the county government of Turkana and the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Turkana chapter, and of course SAIB, ILO, and International Alert for their commitment to indigenous people, especially to the SMEs who have since been hard hit by COVID-19 pandemic. SMEs comprise an estimated 80% of employment in many countries in the world, and they collectively employ billions of people. They are the backbone of the global economy and are fundamental to the day-to-day provisions of goods and services around the world. Therefore, action is needed from governments, both national and county or devolved units, private sector leaders, and international institutions to ensure the continued viability of our SMEs. As private sector, it is the role of us as the chamber to support the economic recovery process of the SMEs. And first, we need to build upon our broad base of local SMEs. They must continuously upgrade to compete in the international market. One of the presenters before me said we are in a competitive market and we can't really succeed out there if we are not up to that quality and supply the quantities that are required. We need to be able to spot early and promising SMEs, those with the potential to grow big, understand their businesses, appreciate their constraints, and support them to prosper. We need to tap and utilize opportunities in Turkana, especially in the energy, finance, infrastructure, and other sectors that we've been shown by the previous presenters. Of course, agriculture is the main one in Turkana as well. We've seen fisheries, tourism, and of course, the cross-border trade. And I think that is what I've seen in the thematic areas of the county, the chapter, which is very important. It actually resonates well. Today, I'm pleased and honored to be here and witness the efforts being done for recognizing the work and efforts the SMEs have done despite the pandemic and despite the hardship that Mheshimiwa CC said, because that hardship makes you tougher, stronger, think to come out of it, and of course, deliver. In partnership with the government agencies and the private sector agencies and donors and other development partners, we would like to solve that problem of micro and small enterprises' failure to access markets. That has been my core role, even in my previous employer as the Micro and Small Enterprise Authority. So I'm happy we're working with the Federation, Mr. Mteti, the CEO there, very, very, very proactive. And that market access, if solved, then production will not be a problem. Quality will not be a problem because we'll have money to plow back into the sectors that we are focusing on. Allow me to take this opportunity to really welcome, I don't know whether the protocols have changed, but that's what I'd been informed earlier. Yeah, to welcome the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Second Vice President, Madam Fatma El-Mawi, who is here in the capacity of the top leadership, because you are all aware the Chamber President lost his dad on Monday. He's not with us, but I know that Madam Fatma is well equipped and she has been involved in this process, and she'll be able to really cement on this partnership and give us wisdom on the way forward. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Good morning. I am happy to announce that I got my second jab yesterday, so I can freely talk to everybody without a mask. I could see that, Mheshimiwa, you had to gasp for air. So, yeah, especially when you are as young as some of us. Honorable Charles Lokioto, CEC Trade, Gender and Youth. Madam Floys from Keproba. Bwana Ogalo from LAPSET. I'd also want to appreciate and acknowledge our partners that are here today. And I'd like to start with SAI. Thank you very much, Ben, Senior Country Director for SAI, who's really been nudging and pushing and cajoling nicely to make sure that this event takes place. And thank you, it has taken place. I'd also like to acknowledge and appreciate Madam Caroline Juki from ILO, International Alert, and I look forward to coming and training for you, Mr. Rubindra Burum. I would also like to appreciate my colleagues at Chamber, started with Bwana Samuel Matonda, and of course, Ewerton from Turkana, Francis. It's been a pleasure, and it's actually been a journey. It's fantastic for me to be here today because we have walked this journey and we are now seeing that we are on the road. That first step has been taken, and now we are looking forward to getting to our destination. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here, and today I am here in two capacities. Number one, as has been advised, I'm here to represent the Chamber President, who has been bereaved and unfortunately could not be with us. He's also been looking forward because Turkana is amongst the counties that has really run, to quote Ewerton, has run away with this PPP, and they've run so fast that some of us are trying to keep up, and also to advise the other counties that it is something that is doable and it is something that actually needs to take place. Having said that, so I'd like to sincerely take this opportunity to thank the organizers once again. As KNCCI, we are committed to promoting growth in the private sector. And how do we do this? We actually provide a platform which enables our members and the private sector in general to create meaningful networks. This is one such network where we are talking, and what we're talking about, we are talking about development of a county, we are talking about development of SMEs, and above all, we are talking about development of our country. So as KNCCI, we are committed to promoting this growth. Having said that, for us to succeed in business, we need a conducive environment. And this is where our brothers, the county government, actually comes in. Because for trade to thrive, there has to be an environment where business can actually take place. So this event provides this opportunity where we can share innovative and effective policies which support SMEs, and has been said by Bwana Ewerton, when you support SMEs, growth comes from below, and this becomes meaningful growth. Why? Because SMEs will spend their money in the county. And for the county, you are partners in business because you take part of the profits that the SMEs have made. We are here to provide strategic and coordinated support on the business recovery roadmap, and also share feedback with the relevant parties as part of the post-COVID recovery mechanism and ongoing initiatives to support the country, the economy to actually bounce back. So today, there is increasing recognition on the importance of SMEs in supporting overall economic growth in the country. It's no secret that SMEs play a major role in spurring economic development. It is said that governments do not create jobs, ladies and gentlemen. It's the private sector that actually creates jobs. Hence, it is important for us to assist and to support and to ensure the environment supports these business people so that jobs can be created and there is a positive multiplier effect. As has been alluded by Mheshimiwa CEC Trade here, we have signed an MOU with Council of Governors, and I'm happy to say that we are now actualizing that MOU. We have taken it from paper and we are working with it to make sure that we actually actualize what the MOU has said. So in this agreement, as KNCCI, we are committed to promote the participation, not just Turkana, but other county chambers as well. Turkana is showing us the way. Turkana is telling us how this can be done. And I love it because Turkana is one of those counties that did not seem like you are at the forefront. And the fact that you are leading, this actually is something, say something about Turkana. Congratulations. So partnership with Turkana County Government, as was alluded in the first PPP, where we had the chamber president and the county governor, I have seen that cross-border trade, and of course we have been advised by Wanakiragu about the 3 borders. I'm here to advise and to say that Ethiopia has actually gotten in touch with head office, and they are really looking forward to catalyzing trade with Turkana County. You are more their neighbors than we are. Sisi ni watu wa mbali, isn't it? Turkana, you are next door neighbors. And they have actually shown their willingness to do that. It has been said about the women and the youth fund, and this is what we are talking about with the Turkana County through our office in Turkana. We've also been looking at the 200 million for SMEs of coming from the Biashara Fund. We've also had another numerous other support, and one of them has been the MasterCard Foundation support, whereby we have given SMEs loans without any collateral, without any interest. We are going into phase 2, whereby Bwana Mheshimiwa now, we are going to build capacity of the people that have been given that money. We will train all the recipients, even those who did not receive, because as a chamber, we are looking forward to a phase 2. Phase 1 has been extremely successful. It's been extremely successful, whereby KNCCI disbursed 535 million across the entire country. Other areas that as KNCCI, we are also looking at establishment of a Women in Business Forum. We do have a WIB. Okay. In fact, yesterday I attended a partnership of WIB and Jubilee Alliance, whereby one of the things they want to do is actually to train the SMEs, to train women. Ukipata kidogo usikule yote, weka kidogo. Why am I saying this? Because COVID swiped everything away. And the reason COVID swiped everything away is also because as SMEs, you get 100, you eat 120. Can we now eat 90 or 80 and keep a little bit so that when things don't go so well, you are not wiped out completely? And this is something that we are going to do with Jubilee Alliance, and we look forward to working with Turkana. We also are lobbying for incentives to support small-scale businesses. How do we do that? Because during the pandemic, as you know, the chamber intervened by proposing to government mitigation measures to be taken so as to minimize the economic impact of the COVID-19. KNCCI urged the government to eliminate tariffs on essential services, remove tax on importation of raw materials, extend the time frame for payment of duties and fees that bring down the general cost of production. The other thing that we did, which I think it's commendable, is we also spoke to the Ministry of Health, to the government through the Ministry of Health, whereby we used to import all the masks that you're wearing, all of them, okay? But now, you know, there's always a silver lining, isn't it? When God takes with one hand, there's always another hand or another opportunity that comes in. So instead of us being a total importer of masks, all the masks that the government, the reusable masks that the government is giving to the school children have actually been done by chamber members countrywide. So our members have they've manufactured the masks, and we have been able to give these masks to the Kenya government. So what has that done? It has reduced our importation bill, isn't it? It has also created jobs that had died, so some of them have been able to get these jobs. To the future, and this is what Bwana Matonda was talking about, we have just signed a credit insurance with Etihad Insurance from Sharjah in UAE, and this is to protect exporters who will be doing business in the UAE market. We went to the UAE, we looked at the business opportunities that are available, and business opportunities in UAE there are just so many. For example, UAE imports bananas from Brazil. We are only 4.5 hours away from Dubai. Why can't those bananas come from Kenya? Isn't it? They are importing meat from Australia and Brazil. We are only 4.5 hours away, and we have a lot. Now, these are the opportunities that are available, and I'm happy for us that we are here so that we can strategically and critically think. Ladies and gentlemen, where are we going? I would like to quote the late marehemu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, who said, uchumi tunao lakini tumeukalia. What it basically means, it's there, but we are sitting on it. So can we now stand up, look around, look at what you have, and let us run with what we have. We also have a partnership with Amref Italia, and this again is to train women, okay, business organizations in terms of capacity, to be able to represent, to be able to lobby, and above all, for the women to implement best practices when addressing lending barriers. In fact, in the words of, again, Ben Kiragu, who said, can we make our SMEs credit ready? The banks have also become hawkers. They are looking for people to give money to, isn't it? And yet again, the SMEs are complaining they have no money. So where's the problem? This is something that we need to look into. Can we make our SMEs credit ready? Can they be able to talk the language that the financiers and the business people want? And by the same token, we flip that coin. We also talk to the bankers and the finance people to understand and to hear what the SMEs are telling them. Maybe it could be an issue of kizungu mingi, isn't it? That people are not understanding. And this is where, as a chamber, as representative here, we need to solve that issue. One of the things, and it's a blessing, guys, it's a blessing in disguise. The refugee population in Turkana is quite high, isn't it?
Yes.
It has been seen that it is taking the resources from Turkana. It is taking the businesses from the locals. Now, the blessing here has come in the form of UNHCR. And UNHCR plus KISIDEP, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
They are interested, they have shown willingness, they have come, they were part of the first PPP discussion in Turkana, and they are saying, guys, we have money. Can we talk? So, Bwana CEC and Bwana Ewaton, can you run with this? Take it up. Because they're there, they've shown willingness, they said we have the money. Show us where and how to spend this money. And we need to pick this and run with it. So my commitment, this is the Chamber President's commitment, is to support continuous partnerships, dialogue with county government, to promote business forums and policies that support business environments. We also support business development and job creating amongst SMEs, youth, and women, even though the men are complaining as well. Improve on our engagement with county chapters through key development programs and regional initiatives. He is also committed, that is KNCCI, review and build service provision to ensure our member services hold and they get real value and communication by them being part of KNCCI. We also are looking forward to providing strategic measures and longer-term economic recovery activities that will revitalize export markets, accessing finance for trade and investment, and supporting human capital and job creation. I proudly laud the initiative taken by KNCCI, Turkana chapter, SAIP. We thank you most profusely for working with us on this journey and to recognize and appreciate the efforts in support of SMEs. I urge, and once again, I pledge to work with the county government to support this initiative, keeping in mind that economic growth and enterprise development cannot be realized until women are economically empowered. Thank you. Now, this is the chamber president. May I now be allowed to talk as Fatma? Okay? And as Fatma, I'd like to give my personal input. And basically, is to say that we have everything. Turkana, we need a catalyst to bring all these stakeholders and package this product called Turkana. And we look forward to working with Keproba because it needs to be packaged. Practically everything is here on these tables. So what is the issue? The issue is we need to work together, we need to package together, and we need to take advantage, as I said, with UNHCR, with KISIDEP. One thing that I'd like to talk and seriously take advantage of this, because the insurance with Etihad, it allows our young people, Bwana CEC, to go and buy products in Sharjah or in Dubai. You don't pay, they will make the payment, you come back, you sell your products, they will give you 120 days and you pay back. This is free money, isn't it? Yes. Please run with it. It's that. The other one is, as you know that chamber, it's about giving market access. We have Dubai 2021. Okay, this is a global expo. 198 countries will be there, and Kenya is also participating. KNCCI has been working with the Ushanga Initiative, which is led by Mrs. Nkaiseri through the Ministry of Culture. Turkana is amongst the 14 counties that are in the Ushanga program. You see, in Kenya, people know us for coffee, for running. What else are we known for? Tea, isn't it? Our neighbors, other countries like South Africa, like Southeast Brazil, Cambodia, those countries, what they do is Ushanga is a very, very big export commodity. So the Kenya government is working through the Ministry of Culture to make our beading, they're beautiful, aren't they? Yes. To become an export commodity as well. Through KNCCI, we are working with Ushanga, and also we're working with Marsabit. Again, Turkana, can you run with it? So that we can show the beads, the beading, the art that Kenya has, and this can be featured in Dubai. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you very much for allowing me to engage and giving our thoughts. And this is something that is doable. It can be done. So Turkana, run with it. Asante.
Wasn't that powerful? But I think the best part about the conversations that we're having today is how practical they are, isn't it? Yes. At first, she started with the generalities, and I found I have to pull a notebook because now we're getting tangible things that we can exploit, isn't it? Yes. Now we know about the opportunity with Sharjah. We will be at the desk of the CEO. We need this information. We need the details so that we can be able to publicize them. We now know about Dubai 2021, specifically the Ushanga program. I think those are tangible, timely issues that we can be able to pursue in order to get benefit for the businesses that we represent. And as I said at the beginning, as we started to think around and to ideate this meeting, we thought about who. We've talked about all the work that we've done at the levels that we have capacity, isn't it? What we've done with Turkana, what the National Chamber has been able to achieve. And we looked outward and we said, who else can we draw into this energy that we have created? Who else can come and support us as we go ahead? And one of the two organizations that we profiled was LAPSET. And I think we all remember the excitement that we had when the president went to open the bath in Lamu the other day, isn't it? I woke up to exclamations, statements, pictures. I remember the agriculture sector yelling very loudly, saying, those are our avocados on that ship. And I felt so proud. I've never grown a single avocado in my life. I don't own a single avocado tree, but there was a sense of, nationalism that we really enjoyed, and we got so excited that our avocados are now going abroad on those baths. And we are so proud today to have a representative of LAPSET, Mr. Raymond Ogallo, who is the principal physical planner. And really why we invited him and his remit really is to talk to us now that you have understood what we have, what we can offer. How do you think that we can be able to partner with you and the institution that you represent? So Raymond, welcome. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes up. So he had some slides that he had asked us to cue. If you could kindly cue them for him.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I will take you through the LAPSET program and how it links up with the county government of Turkana. And not only the county of Turkana, even across the globe, beyond Kenya as it is. So that's my name. I'm Raymond. Professionally, I'm a physical planner working with the LAPSET. Next. So we have, for us to understand LAPSET, it's also very important to know where we came from. And the launch was done in 2012, where we had the president, our president Kibaki. We also had the prime minister of Ethiopia, and also the president of South Sudan. That was the way 2012 when they went to Lamu, just to start the process of LAPSET program. Next. And in terms of the projects that we have, LAPSET is a program of various project components. We have Lamu Port, which was just launched the other day. We also have Special Economic Zone, which is within Lamu, and even we are projecting to have along the LAPSET corridor. We have highways, we have crude oil pipeline, and even we have the product oil pipelines. We have oil refineries, we have railway, international airports, which I'll brief you through. We also have the resource cities, High Grand Falls, and even power line transmission, water pipelines, and also even the fiber optic cables, among others. So I'll explain all of them as we go. And in terms of the LAPSET, in terms of the dimension of LAPSET, we have the infrastructure corridor. That is where we're going to put up development in terms of the road, railways, pipelines, and also along the corridor, we have mapped out the outer corridor. That is the economic corridor. That is 50 kilometers on either side of the inner corridor. And the outer corridor is where even the county government of Turkana and the counties where LAPSET traverses, like Lamu, Garissa, Meru, Isiolo, Samburu, Turkana, they can take advantage of the outer corridor to undertake master planning to make sure that they have key investment opportunities to tap into the infrastructure corridor. So the inner one is where we are doing the infrastructure development. The outer one is where we are planning together with the county governments. We are looking into that to make sure that we identify investment opportunities along to take advantage of the Lapsset corridor. And also, as we are doing the development, we are expecting to have serious cities along the Lapsset corridor based on the development that will emerge. We have Lamu. We also have Garissa as one of the key cities that are going to emerge. We also have Isiolo, and also we have Moyale, just bordering Kenya and Ethiopia, and also we have Lodwar. So as Lapsset, Turkana is one of the key potential areas for emerging as a mega city. Next. And as it has been said, that Turkana borders 3 countries, that is Ethiopia, South Sudan, and even Uganda. This linkage of Lapsset shows that Lapsset is not just for the country, or for one county, or for Kenya, as it is. Lapsset is like interlinking the east coast to the west coast of Africa, where we have port-to-port interconnectivity. So when we have port in Lamu, you also have Douala is in Cameroon, and another one in Djibouti. So you can see if Turkana people were to do development in that county, how the connectivity in terms of market, how the goods can reach out to the markets. If you are to transport your goods, you can still traverse it to Lamu. You can go to Ethiopia, even Djibouti. You can even go to the western part of Africa, and that shows how the interconnectivity of Lapsset is. Next. In terms of market, because what we're targeting is the population. You find Kenya as it is, there's a ready market internally for even the production of goods that may come within Turkana and other counties. You also have Ethiopia, which doubles our population. And many questions have been raised regarding the Djibouti port, that Ethiopia intends to rely on the Djibouti port. But for the reality, if you look at the southern part of Ethiopia, the population alone is equivalent to Kenya population. And the southern part is more closer to Kenya, and they are intending to use our port. So already we have a equivalent demand and market, just like the Kenya population in Ethiopia alone. And this will go through to the South Sudan also, which is closer to Turkana, and even Uganda is also captured, which has population of about heading to around 45. And so far we are targeting around 315 million demand for goods and services, especially for the investment opportunities that are already listed. Next. And now we go to Lamu Port, which I believe for all the investment that will take place in Turkana, you will still need the port in terms of transshipment of your goods. And so far we have planned to do 32 berths, a port of 32 berths, deep sea port. You will find, if you go to Mombasa port, like in the country, the port that the president just launched, the width of that port is around 400 meters. If you compare to what we have in Mombasa, it can take like 3 times or 4 times the port which is built there. So when the president launched first berth, second berth, and third berth, it could be even equivalent to 10 berths. in Mombasa. And that shows you how potential the Lamu port is. And with the transshipment that, as per now, there's high demand for that, because many countries want to now transit their goods through Lamu port because it can accommodate very huge ships. Then once the ship lands there now, they can also use the Mombasa port. So you can see in terms of dimension and capacity of port, this has really attracted investors to come and make sure that they bring their goods through Lamu port. And next, in terms of construction, that is just the camp, the station. And remember when the president went to do the launching of LAPSET, there was no structure, even one. It was just a bush where they had to clear the bush so that they can have a space with 3 state head of state to launch the program. But you can see the contractor is on ground. There's development in terms of structures. Next. And in terms of the timeline, as I mentioned before, the first 3 berths are supposed to be completed this year. And then you also have the crude oil, which Turkana are very conversant with and also highlight it as we go. And then the rest now will come after. And next, in terms of projection, in terms of demand for the port, you find as much as we are relying in Mombasa port, already it has been exhausted in terms of the demand. And that's why Mombasa port has to come in, Lamu port has to come in. By 2024, you can see how demand will overstretch what we have currently, and therefore the Lamu port has to come in. Next. And these are all just the statistics in terms of the projection of capacity for the port, and also in terms of investment within the port, in terms of investing in Lamu Port Agribal Terminal, and also the Lamu Port oil terminals and the special economic zone. Let's just move faster and faster. As we go, you can see how we started in terms of the construction of the berths. And those are just the images and where we are, how the berths, so we can stop from there, up there. Just go back. So this is how the berths look. We have 3 berths constructed like this. So in one is around 400 meters. So the 3 of them, that stretch up to there is around 120 meters. Next. And the president just launched the first berth, which is ready. And the next ones are also ready, but they're now finalizing the yard. And we also have security in place. This is one of the best police stations that you'll find around. Even if you are caught in the mess, you'd rather request to go here. You'll feel at home. It's good modern facilities. We have offices ready for business. Next. So in terms of the highways, which is Turkana is also part of this, we have highways that we have done the construction, and in terms of the progress, like in the case of Isiolo to Moyale, before the construction was done, many people used to take days for them to reach from Isiolo to Moyale, and I think the same scenario happens if you go to Turkana, especially if you are to traverse. If you have to go through Samburu, Baragoi, as you go to Sugutavalu, Lokori, Lokichari, you'll find the same infrastructure challenges. So, for now, you shall see how Isiolo Moyale used to be, but the next one you'll see how the LAPSET has done the transformation of Isiolo Moyale Road. It's one of the best roads you can find around, and this is what government plans even for Turkana, so that you can maximize the potential that has been shown before. Next. And also we have Kenya-Ethiopia border stop. This is one of the facilities that should happen even as we have borders between us and South Sudan, where Turkana is and also Uganda border. So in terms of road networks, the Ethiopian part also have really focused on ensuring that we have the linkage. Because as much as the port is ready, we must have the linkage of transmission of goods from Turkana. You have to go to Ethiopia for us to reach Ethiopia, Hawassa, and even Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. You must have this kind of network, and that's why the Ethiopian part are also really trying hard so that they can make use of the port that we have and also tap into Turkana investment opportunities. And also, I think the slide went very fast. So in terms of Lokichar to Nadapal, the road construction is ongoing. I know you are aware of that. That is part of LAPSET. And also from Lokichar to going to Samburu up to Isiolo section. Already we have detailed engineering design just completed, and very soon they will start the construction. And from Isiolo to Garissa is also detailed engineering design is also ready. And as we speak, already Kenya has awarded contract for the road from Lamu to Garissa section. Already the contractor is on the ground so that we make sure that the port is well maximized. And the Ethiopian side, they're also waiting for us to finish up so that when the port is ready, we have Isiolo, Garissa road finished so that the goods can be transported easily. And also government is also foreseeing a scenario where we have to finish up Isiolo, Samburu, up to Lokichar road so that it can link up with the Lokichar Nadapal. So that we'll be having free trade. As you move from Nadapal going down up to Isiolo, it will be executive road, and also you can link up, you can go straight to Ethiopia, you can also come down to Lamu. So government is really under pressure to undertake that completion of the road network. Next. And all these are opportunities in terms of what road construction will bring forth. Next. And also we have the standard gauge railway. All these are traversing through the corridor, and is for the all of them pass through Turkana, Lodwar, all the way to South Sudan. And also not just South Sudan, it goes beyond the area and up to Cameroon and other parts of the countries, opening up for the market opportunities. Next. So all these are just the investment opportunities as the construction of the railway, of which there is already feasibility study that has already been undertaken. And also the Kenya government is working hard with Ethiopia to ensure that in terms of design, harmonization is done effectively well. Next. And again, we have the crude oil pipeline, of which Turkana is aware of. This is a baby of Turkana, as Minister said. So there's oil that has already been discovered in Turkana, and the pipeline that we are doing the construction, that we intend to do the construction, is from Lokichar, all the way coming along, passing through Suguta, Baragoi, Samburu, Isiolo, Meru, Garissa, up to Lamu. So the intention is to transport oil from Turkana up to Lamu. Then in Lamu we have oil refinery, where we're going to refine the oil, and then again we're going to do another pipeline from Lamu, Isiolo, Moyale, up to Hawassa in Ethiopia for the exportation. Next. And then also we can show the oil field in Turkana, which has high potential for oil production. Next. And also we have the product oil pipeline that I've just mentioned from Lamu all the way to Ethiopia. Once we get oil from Turkana, it will be refined, then exportation will take place. Next. And also these investment opportunities, and as it was mentioned before, during the construction of the pipeline from Lokichar to Lamu, there will be investment opportunities and also even the employment. And you see the welding that I've just shown there, this is not an ordinary welding that you see around. Maybe somebody will getting small money. Somebody will be making even $500,000 per month. These are skilled, and now it is high time for the county government of Turkana to prepare ground so that when the time reached, because for now, even the crude oil pipeline, already studies have already been completed. We have done front-end engineering design, the environmental social impact assessment has already been completed, and also currently we are doing land acquisition, all the way from Lokchar up to Lamu. And immediately there will be construction. What is required is the local also to be involved in terms of construction. And the skills that will be required, the welders, that will be high-trained welders. So for now, is upon the county government together with the government to ensure that as the LAPSSET is coming, then the locals are well prepared to take up the advantage that comes with this. The next one. And also we have the international airports. One we have in Lamu, also one we have in Isiolo, and also one we have in Turkana. So far we have mapped them out, and various studies still need to be undertaken in terms of detailed engineering designs to make sure that we have the implementation. Because what LAPSSET has foreseen, in the next few years we'll have a lot of investment, a lot of development in Turkana, and therefore it's very strategic for us to put up an international airport in Turkana, and all these are the statistics in terms of investment opportunities. And also we have the resource cities, one in Lamu, another one we have in Isiolo around Kipsingap, and also one in Lake Turkana, Lake Spring, which is one of the best beaches untapped. I normally swim there anytime I go for workshop. I make sure that I enjoy Turkana, but it's a place which many people have not discovered. When you're there, you may forget you're in the coast, maybe where Fatima comes from, I guess, I'm not sure. But it is one of the best beaches you can ever imagine. And so far, is a high potential for investment. And the beauty about Lake Spring is that there's no development much. So that will give you opportunity for proper planning. So once it is well planned, everybody will rush to go to Lake Spring, because it's a green field where no development, no shanties has taken place. And therefore, that is an area which will work close with the county government to do even the planning, master planning, to make sure that even as investment will take place, everything will be controlled to the standard of physical and land use planning. And also, as I had mentioned before, in terms of resource visit, we as LAPSSET, our mandate is to plan, coordinate, and sequence implementation of LAPSSET program. And planning is one of the key mandates that we undertake. So far, we have done planning, the master planning and investment framework for Lamu Port City. And as you can see, the entire just to explain on the master plan. This is where the port is, and just adjacent to the port here we have the Lamu industrial area, where there will be a lot of heavy industries, medium and light industries, and logistic areas, the railway terminals. You also have now the CBD where Hindi is, will be having a lot of development. And as you can go, if you go now, you'll find a lot of development taking place. And now, in Lamu, we have resources here, just like a Lake Spring. And in terms of vision that we have, and the master plan that we have done, this is the picture on what we foresee to happen. And this is what we also expect to happen in a Lake Spring, where you plan and investors come, because the investment opportunity that will come here will be through PPP. These resource cities will be done by both public and private partnership process. Next. And so far we also have the special economic zone that I mentioned before, based on the proximity to the port. And this SEZ is also will be developed along the LAPSSET outer corridor, of which the Turkana is part of this. And just the same way in Ethiopia, if you go to Awasa, you'll find one of the key special economic zone is in Awasa, production of apparel industries. And those people target our Lamu port. How about Turkana, when we have the port within us? So there's high potential to invest in special economic zones along the Lapsset corridor, take advantage of the infrastructure. And also the location where Turkana is. You can get the market within Kenya, you can get the market in Ethiopia, you can get the market in Uganda, even up to Cameroon, because of the strategic location that you have. Next. And also, in terms of, these are just the details of the special economic zone in terms of what we intend to do in Lamu, and the same applies to Turkana. Next. And investment opportunities that are mentioned, metal processing industries, we have building materials in Turkana, apparel, beverages, industries, tourism. So it can be applied across all the counties of Lapsset. And that's why the first map I showed you, there was the inner corridor and outer corridor. And the outer corridor we need to do master plan, or we can call it the inter-county physical and land use development plan, so that we identify investment opportunities along the entire corridor. And also we can learn from the northern corridor, where there's a lot of disorganization in terms of development. There was no proper planning. But for the corridor, we want to set a good example to make sure that from Lamu all the way to Turkana, there's proper planning and there's proper implementation of those plans, so that we maximize the opportunities that Lapsset come with. Next. And also those are just the normal investment potentials and all the incentives that the government also offers that have already been highlighted. Next. And this is just a city's margin. Remember when we started the slides, I'd shown you we are projecting to have a big Lamu city, we are projecting to have a big Garissa city, Isiolo city, Lodwar city, and Moyale city. When the president, the three heads of state went to Lamu, there was nothing. But now, that was 2012, that is not long, all of us were there. But you can see a city is merging in the bush where nobody could imagine. And the speed at which it's emerging is very fast. If you go to Lamu, you'll find there's a lot of transformation than what I've put here. And the same will apply to Turkana, the same will apply to Isiolo, and even in Moyale. So we must be ready, because these are areas, and the advantage that we have in the case of Turkana, these are areas that have not been heavily developed like Nairobi here. So we are going to start at an area which is still not much development in terms of physical structures. And that will give us opportunity to have proper planning, so that by the time we are doing the implementation of these plans, then we have the best city that can attract investors and developers. Next. And in the case of Lamu, this is the master plan. So it is a plan that we're just fulfilling. We have already set the plan, and now what is remaining is that the implementation. And that's how it has started. And all of this will be filled. Within 20 years, you'll be wondering, is this the Lamu that I used to see? And you can see the paths. You can see where the port is. Just push it. The port, the path that the president just launched is this one. So we are doing 1, 2, 3. The 3 will have to be launched this year, and then we'll add the 4th, 5th, and 6th after 2022. They will be focused now to again undertake other baths. Then will come again this other side to do the rest up to 32 baths. So you can imagine, with the 3 baths that has not even started actively operating, Lamu has transformed to that extent. How about if they have now started active operation? In fact, if you go to Lamu today, even at some point, there's a high demand even for housing. So there are a lot of investment opportunities that comes with this development. And the next. And you can see what the vision that we are focused on. This is the port. Yeah. You can see the Lapsset corridor going all the way to Turkana. And this is what we'll see in the next few years because of the planning. And I think the next is the last slide. So these are the key partners that we have worked closely with, especially in terms of planning for the Lapsset programs. And the last one is the WF that we have currently started engaging with to ensure that we partner with the county governments like Turkana and others to do the master planning of the outer corridor. And thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much for that presentation. I think we've learned so much. As I was celebrating my avocados, I didn't know that there's so much behind those avocados that are going abroad, isn't it? Thank you so much, and we really appreciate. At this point, I am honestly just jealous. I live in the wrong city. I need to start moving. How does one apply? Because if you already have 5 flights out and you're getting an international airport and all that road infrastructure that we have seen, am I not living in the wrong city? I think I am. So thank you so much. Thank you very much for that presentation. And I note that we have gone a bit over time, but I think we've done the best to manage with the conversations that really needed to be had this morning. And having waited so long to have this forum, I'm really grateful that we've had the chance for this conversation. So at this point, I would like to invite Madam Floyce Mukabana, who is the Stakeholder Engagement Director at Keproba. She will be speaking to us yet again with the perspective of the partnership and the opportunities that Keproba can bring to this work. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Rachel, and for the opportunity that you've given me. I note that I am the last, and I believe the reason that I'm the last is because you saved the best for last. So, as Rachel had said, my name is Floyce Mukabana. I am the Director in charge of stakeholder engagement at Keproba, holding the brief of my boss, Dr. Wilfred Marube, who would have loved to be here with you today, but was not able to attend because he got an urgent engagement from the ministry. So before I take on his formal speech, allow me to just have a conversation about what you have heard. First of all, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge the people who we have with us. We have Madam Fatma Al-Mawi. Thank you very much for joining us. The CEC for Trade, Gender and Youth, Mr. Charles Lokoyoto. There are many people who want to join and come to Turkana to see the beauty that is there in Turkana. After Mr. Gurang, and I think Rachel, I'll be the next one with my team. I think there's a lot to be done in Turkana, especially when you look at what we do as Keproba, and in the formal speech you'll be able to tell. One of the things we do is we map the enterprises that are there to see how they are, how export ready they can be, and what interventions we can put in so that you can be able to fast track the process of making them export ready, as well as just giving them, holding their hands to make them achieve their objectives. So I'm grateful, and I'll be one of those people. I'd like to also thank Mr. Everton. It's good to have had your presentation, and the fact that we've been able to collaborate and together. Opportunities for collaboration are there for us to see how we can push the agenda forward. Mr. Francis Edome, I was so grateful for the presentation you did for us. I was not aware about the treasure trove that was in Turkana. I was very pleasantly surprised to see what is available and what we can do with them, especially when you look at it from a branding perspective. I'm very grateful. Mr. Matonda, who we consider one of us, yes, and for us, we're just seeing this is now we are represented everywhere. We have easy access. Thank you so much for this opportunity, as well as I want to just use this opportunity to say that with all those MOUs that you have done across, we should also consider one with Keproba. There's one that is in the pipeline somewhere, stuck somewhere. We should be able to get it out. I obviously must take this opportunity also to just thank Mr. Kiragu and the SIP team and the consultants for setting this forum together, because in this forum, I have been able to learn a lot. I don't know about the rest of you. This is a forum that is long overdue, and I'm thinking this should be the first of very many to come. So with those many remarks, and with an opportunity for me to just get a few challenges off some time to just get my technology working, I will now go back to the formal speech that was for our CE, so that when I report back, I say whatever you asked me to tell them, I have told them, and this is the response they have come back with. So just give me a few minutes as I try and sort out the technology. Okay, so thank you so much. This is now the formal speech. With all the protocols observed, I'd just like to say that I'm delighted to be with you today to deliberate on the areas of engagement and collaboration in the creating a strategy to expand the export markets for products in Turkana County. Let me begin by introducing the agency I represent, the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, whose core mandate is to implement export promotion and nation branding initiatives and policies to promote Kenya's export goods and services. We do this by implementing the various programs of activities under our strategic plan for the year 2019-2022. The agency's strategic plan is anchored primarily on the Integrated National Export Development and Promotion Strategy, which has set a goal of increasing export trade at a growth rate of 25% per annum. At Keproba, we have embraced the objective of the national strategy and set a goal of increasing Kenya's exports by 6.5% per annum through our initiatives and interventions. And we thus see this as a partnership, as an opportunity for us to achieve this goal and ultimately surpass it. As an agency, we are focusing on the following strategies. We want to develop, brand, and develop Kenyan export products, and in this case, we are talking about Turkana export products. We want to develop and diversify Kenya export markets, so we are saying the products from Turkana, we need to be able to see how we can work together to get linkages abroad for their markets, and to manage the image and reputation of the Kenya brand. I noticed when Mheshimiwa was giving his presentation, he was saying there's a wrong perception of Turkana. It's being seen as an insecure place, yet it is basically what everybody else experiences. And what that means then is that we need to be able to talk to brand the Turkana County, the brand itself, so that you're positioned in such a way that people are not able to see Turkana as an insecure place. Instead, we should be positioning with what you already have. The treasure troves that Mr. Edome was talking about. Let us say we are a county where you'll be able to get precious stones, you'll be able to get idyllic beaches, you should be able to get the livestock, and there's a lot of opportunity for trade, and that is how you position, and that's what we mean by managing the image and reputation of the country. But before we do that for the country, we are cognizant of the fact that the country is 47 counties, so each of the counties need to be positioned properly so that when we add the sum total of it, then the Kenyan image and the brand is able to shine, and we can be able to be associated with a destination for investment, trade, tourism, and markets. I can see again the technology is failing, but let's see what we can do about it. Ready products that are competitive at both local, regional, and international markets. We build capacity in branding, marketing, and communications to help enterprises leverage on the Made in Kenya mark to better position their products in the export market. We also conduct trade outreach services where we visit producers, manufacturers, and exporters of goods and services to assess their level of preparedness to the export trade and offer guidance in export development. This informs the interventions needed to support specific sectors and highlights areas where other export players can support. As we speak, we've already signed 3 partnership deals with Kentrade as well as KEPSA to enable us ride on each other's institutional strength to boost the export trade. We also collaborated with other players in developing the sector's specific integrated marketing and communication strategy. We provide market intelligence services to exporters to help them take advantage of the market opportunities that are available. We also enhance the competitiveness of enterprises by providing business development services. We are developing an e-portal to help exporters showcase their products across the globe. As such, we have also entered into an agreement with an existing e-commerce platform such as TradeLink to facilitate our exporters to access the exports market. I'm glad to note that a number of Turkana enterprises have benefited from our programs. Some of these include outreach services to determine the enterprise export readiness and areas of intervention. We have done instructive training on product development aimed at developing enterprises and products to meet export market. We have undertaken on-site coaching on selected enterprises. We have also done export awareness forums to sensitize business owners on opportunities on exports and how they can plug in. And finally, through market linkage activities, specifically test marketing in USA and UK and in collaboration with Danida, where enterprises were able to sign contracts to supply dried fish and curios. This engagement is therefore an opportunity to continue the good work that we have done together before. With our hands joined, I believe we can achieve much more. The agency is ready to collaborate with your county through the chamber to achieve our objectives. Some of the areas that we can collaborate include in SME development and enterprise capacity building and product development, where we're going to work with develop SMEs into the export market cycle by training enterprises in selected areas of interest in order to sharpen their business skills in export development, branding, and setting out value propositions for their products and the enterprises, and also assisting them in the export market preparedness. Such interventions will be achieved through workshops, conferences, and symposium, and seminars, and on-site coaching. We'd also like to collaborate with the Chamber in terms of areas of market access and linkages, where we can organize and participate in expos, trade fairs, buyer-seller meetings, or joint trade missions locally and regionally and international, with an intention of globally positioning the Kenyan brand from the Turkana County. We would also like to create market linkages for enterprises and enhance market access for Turkana County enterprises. We can also engage in market intelligence and information sharing through joint research and information market intelligence gathering either at the desk or the field that will inform specific interventions to be deployed in the Turkana area. We'd also like to promote the Made in Kenya initiative to encourage our membership and the membership of the Chamber and enterprises to adopt the mark of Kenya identity with the intention of strengthening the Kenya's position as the industrial hub for Africa by being the source of high-quality products and enable consumers locally and abroad to immediately identify the products as quality and authentically Kenyan. We also, as you're aware, the African countries have developed the African Continental Free Trade Area, which was conceptualized by the African heads of state and heads of government. As we emerge from the adverse impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, we need to focus our efforts on the vast after-regional market. And I'm glad the gentleman from LAPSET has been able to share with us the opportunities that it provides for us to exploit the after-regional market. This is a major opportunity to help Turkana County and indeed the Kenya to diversify its exports, accelerate growth, and increase foreign direct investment. For Kenya, the agreement will not only boost Kenya's trade with other African trade partners, but it will also improve the prospects of structural diversification by increasing the demand for manufactured goods for exports. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently organizing the Expo 2020 Dubai, which is scheduled to start on the 1st of October 2021 and end in March 2022. In this Expo, over 200 nations will be represented, and Kenya will be participating in the Expo. So I'd like to urge you to participate in this global event. Our objective for participating in the Expo 2020 Dubai is to increase the exports in the Gulf Cooperation countries, attract more tourists to visit our scenic tourist attraction, as well as attract foreign direct investment. This is an opportunity for Turkana County to position itself uniquely. I was talking about county branding, to grow its export volumes, to attract the tourists in the county and attract foreign direct investment, to create jobs opportunity for the youth. We have adequately secured exhibition space to allow Kenyan SMEs to showcase Kenyan products in the Expo. This is opportunity for the Turkana County enterprises to participate and secure export markets across the Gulf Cooperation countries and across the world. You cannot afford to miss this. So allow me to conclude by saying that we are glad to have started this journey together. My team and I are ready to work with you to ensure that we grow exports in the Turkana County and indeed the entire Republic of Kenya. Asanteni.
Thank you so much, Floyd, and thank you so much for ending on such a firm promise, isn't it? Yes. A firm promise that you're willing to work with us, but more so that we have yet again the opportunity of this upcoming Dubai Expo. I think we really must burden ourselves with ensuring that out of the businesses that we have engaged, those who we disturbed to come out of their safe spaces in Turkana and come all the way to Nairobi for this exhibition, I think we should challenge ourselves that one or some of those businesses must be at this expo, isn't it? Don't you think it behooves us that at least out of this meeting, we must ensure that we can be able to show that as an outcome? I think I would like us to challenge ourselves and to do everything that it takes. Even if we don't take too many, let us say that out of this Nairobi forum, the next step was Dubai. I like the journey, Turkana, Lodwar, to Nairobi, to Dubai, isn't it? Don't you like that projection? I think it makes sense. And I really appreciate the opportunity that we've had, the two engagements, and the firm promises of partnership. I think then it's upon us, TCC, Mr. Chairman, you have done a lot, but I think the work ahead is even more, to be able to re-engage with these bodies and to ensure that we actually reap all the benefits of the promises that we have gotten this morning. It is my great honor at this point to introduce the Vice Chairman of TCC, Mr. Joseph Losuru. He'll be giving us a vote of thanks, and he'll also make a few remarks regarding the businesses that we're going to be seeing shortly in the exhibition. Joseph, welcome. Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Rachel. Our second President, Fatma, CC Lokioto, Charles Lokioto, and all protocol of staff. It's good evening or good morning? Good morning. It's still morning. So mine is I can talk very few, but mine is to give a photo of thanks, because I know everybody was talking. I will talk in Kiswahili. Yeah. Yangu yatakuwa ni mafupi sana kwa sababu Turkana iko na opportunity mingi. Na ni vile tumeona kwamba karibuni Turkana. Kwa hivyo Turkana itakuwa city sasa. Kwa hivyo karibuni Turkana itakuwa ni ile vile ilikuwa na watu wanafikiria Turkana, watu wanakula umbwa, watu wanakana magani. Turkana is a beautiful. Now is a beautiful. Yangu yatakuwa ni ku recognize kwa sababu masaa imeenda. Ya kwanza my recognition itaenda kwa Charles Lokioto ambaye ni CC wetu, ambaye amechukua muda wake mwingi sana kufika mahali hapa. Kwa hivyo Turkana ni mbali, ni hardship ambaye ni safari ngumu, ambaye ukisikia wakati mwingine ulikuwa unasikia Turkana watu wakisema naenda Kenya. Siko namna hiyo. So nao tunataka nyinyi mkitoka hapa mnasema tunaenda Kenya kwa sababu itakuwa city. Recognition yangu ingine itaenda kwa our second president, kwa sababu kazi ni mingi. Najua chemba iko na kazi mingi sana, ambaye ameweza kuhakikisha amefika mahali hapa. Angekuwa ameenda mahali ingine, lakini tunashukuru sana kuwa na roho mzuri kama huo kufika katika hii event. Ingine itaenda kwa Sipe, ambaye Ben Kiragu, ambaye tumeanza naye kuanzia zamani, ambaye amefanya hata huu mkutano umesucceed. Kwa hivyo ongera kwako. Kwa hivyo yale matunda yote yatatokea katika chembe ya Turkana ni kwa sababu yako. Kwa sababu Turkana hiyo opportunity zote zinapata ni kwa sababu yako na National Chamber of Commerce. Kwa hivyo ongera kwako. Kwa hivyo yale yanakuja katika Turkana, unasikia yote ni plus. Tunasema asante sana na usichoke, hiyo ni lazima utuendeleze tufike mahali tunaenda. Umeona Turkana iko na opportunity mingi sana. Ikifikiri hii mazee mingine watu wameutilize, wametumia hii ile ingine hii. Kwa hivyo ile iko Turkana bado iko virgin kabisa. Kwa hivyo lazima karibuni tuendeleshe hiyo mbele. Ingine itaenda kwa chair wetu wa Chamber of Commerce. Unajua hii kazi ya private sector ni kazi ya kujitoa. Kwa sababu hauna mshahara, hauna nini, unatumia hiyo energy yote kufanya hiyo kazi na kuhakikisha kwamba watu wameenda mbele, wafanya biashara wameweza kuona mwanga ama kuangalia light. Kwa hivyo chair, tunashukuru sana na pia kusukuma hii mambo ya hii mkutano kufika mahali hapa, Waturkana kufika. Kuna hata wengine ambaye wafanya biashara wala wako hapa nyuma ambao wamekuja kufanya exhibition, wajaifika Turkana, wajaifika Nairobi. So wameona ni shangao kubwa sana kufika mahali hapa. Kwa hivyo kwao watarudi kusema kwamba kweli kuna mambo mazuri ambaye yanafanyika. Ingine itaenda kwa nani? Itaenda kwa center. Ingine itaenda kwa our CEO ambaye karibu chemba. Umeniambia kwamba umekuwa miezi 2 na umefanya mambo mingi, umefanya huko na hivyo. Kwa hivyo karibu chemba. Kwa hivyo tunasema hongera kwako kwa hiyo kazi mzuri na tunataka mazuri kuendelea mbele. Ingine itaenda kwa Kiproba. Kwa hivyo tunasema sisi tuko na mambo mingi sana Turkana. Karibu Turkana, utuendeleshe, utuhakikishe tumekuwa pamoja, watu waende mambo ya export. Unajua Turkana iko mambo mingi. Inahitaji mambo ya branding, inahitaji nini? Watu bado wanafanya ile biashara ile black market. Kwa hivyo tunahitaji tufanye biashara yetu, bado tuna smuggling. Kwa sababu ukiangalia Turkana katika hizo boda 3 hizo ambao unaona unasikia iko Uganda, iko Sudan, iko Ethiopia, people do business smuggling. Hakuna ile utaratibu na wanahangaisha wafanyabiashara, wanahangaishwa, polisi anahangaisha, is using energy mingi sana kupatisha pesa zao kwa sababu ya kutokuelewa wanafanya nini. Kwa hivyo tunahitaji karibuni Turkana, hiyo ni lazima karibuni Turkana. Hiyo ni lazima itaenda hongera kwake. Ingine tutasema kwamba itaenda kwa sorry. Kwa Florence. Unajua Florence amefanya kazi mingi sana consultancy. Florence amefanya kazi mingi kwa sababu ya mambo ya communication sana. Na umetusaidia hiyo, hongera, tunakushukuru sana. Kwa hiyo utaratibu vile tumekuwa Turkana, umekuwa mtu vizuri. Rachel, sio Florence, Rachel. Sorry. Rachel. Kwa hivyo tunatambua uwepo wako kwa hii kazi. Ni kazi ya kujitoa. Kwa sababu kama hii kazi ingekuwa ni kazi ambayo unataka kulipwa, I think ingekuwa ni kazi unalipwa, ungetaka million of money. Hii kazi tunajitoa yote ni kwa sababu ya kujitoa, kwa sababu ya kupenda watu wetu. Ingine itaenda kwa tunashukuru pia tunashukuru media wetu communication kwa sababu ya kazi mzuri. Kwa sababu wamefanya kazi mzuri kuweza kuangaza, kuweka hii mambo yetu ya media, kuweka kwa WhatsApp, kuweka kwa Twitter. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru, hiyo ni kazi. Kwa hivyo lazima tuwashukuru kwa sababu wana publish information yetu ifikie kwa mtandao kwa sehemu zote. Kwa hivyo tunawashukuru, lazima tuwape hongera kwa kazi yenu mzuri na waendelee kufanya kazi kwa add value hii kazi yetu ya chemba na kazi ya wananchi ambayo tunawafanyia. Kwa hivyo tunasema asanteni sana. Pia watu ya LAPSSET, kuna hiyo LAPSSET. Mimi nimeshangaa sana kwa sababu mimi sijai jua, nilikuwa nasikia hii mambo ya LAPSSET. Huko nasikia watu itapita hapa. Sasa leo nimeona kumbe iko opportunity mingi sana Turkana. Mimi najua hiyo watoto wetu watakuja kuona. Si iko namna hiyo. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru sana. Kwa hivyo mimi naona Turkana itachange, itakuwa kama Dubai. Kwa wakati mwingine naona itachange. Na hiyo ni kuambatana na vile watu wote watakuwa pamoja na pia kuendelesha hii Turkana iendelee mbele. Wengine ni kwa wale watu wetu wale ambao wamekuja mahali hapa. Kuna livestock. Unajua Turkana 72% watu wanategemea mifugo. Mifugo kabisa ni county ya mifugo. Kwa hivyo kuna mambo ya marketing, nafikiri mtaenda huko. Kwa hivyo nitashukuru Jeremia Loyapan ambaye yuko kwa lead mambo ya livestock na fish product. Morini hapo tunarudisha shukrani kwao kwa sababu hiyo ni kazi ya kujitoa, kuja mpaka mahali hapa ni kujitoa. Haya, alafu kuna kampuni inaitwa Hangaki Handcraft. Kuna mama anaitwa Alice Ekali ambaye huko unajua kwetu watu wanashona vikapu. Unajua tuna vitu mingi wa mama, kuna kazi ambayo wamama wanafanya. Wamama wanafanya kazi nyingine kama ya kushona vikapu, nyingine mali nyingine wanajenga manyumba ya mbuzi, najenga namna gani. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni kazi ya wamama wanafanya Turkana. Kwa hivyo hii tunashukuru huyo mama kwa kuweza kuja, kwa hivyo mtaenda kuona. Pia kuna wengine nitarudisha kuna Nakuelet bra. Nakoringole Elizabeth Kiyonga. Kwa hivyo huyo mama ameshaleta mambo ya hani bra. Asali. Hii mama ameleta asali. Unajua huko kuna asali mingi huko. Tuko na asali mingi Turkana, ikipata export watu watatajirika. Kuna wanyama ikipata export watu watatajirika. Pia na kuna hiyo hani. Kwa hivyo kuna huyo mama anaitwa Kiyonga, Elizabeth Kiyonga. Haya. Kuna hii inaitwa Mkoro ito anikorobia. Mazuri Limited Teresa Ayangani. Kuna mambo ya mawe. Unajua Turkana ni nchi ilibarikiwa. Unajua wakati Mungu anakunyima kulima chakula, anakupatia mambo mengine kwa ile njia nyingine. Kwa hivyo kuna mawe Turkana. Hizo mawe mtaenda kuziona mahali pale. Iko mahali pale ambayo iko na Ayangani, unaitwa Ayangani. Kuna mtu anaitwa ule ambaye anaitwa Bilo Chakai. Huyu ana deal na mambo ya mawe na pia gold. Na amekaa katika hiyo sekta kwa muda. Na kwa hivyo ndio anafanya, na wako wengi, sio huyo peke yake, wako wengi. Lakini ni zile sekta ambaye zimekuwa neglected, ambaye hakuna mtu ameangazia kuweza kufanya mambo ya marketing katika Turkana. Najua sasa hii tukiingia mambo ya marketing, export, ninajua watu watafaidika, Turkana itafaidika. Wako wengi. Kwa hivyo huyu anaitwa Bilal. Kwa hivyo kuna mambo ya mahoteli. Unajua Turkana zamani hatukuwa na hoteli, ndio vile ulikuwa umesikia kwamba tulikuwa na hoteli ngapi? 8. Ilikuwa ni 8 ama ilikuwa 9? Ile wakati umesoma hapa Francis. Sasa hii tuko na 100 na kitu. Kwa hivyo hoteli ile tuko nayo, ile hoteli ambayo ukikuja unalala, ambayo utaweza kuona huko Kenya. Unajua kuna mahoteli ukiangalia huko kwetu tunasema utapata nyazi, utapata nini, utapata iko cool. Cradle. Cradle. Kwa hivyo wengi wetu hapo ndio tulifanyia ile breakfast tulikuwa naye juzi, na pia kuna zile mahoteli zile zingine. Na hiyo ni kwa sababu ya nini? Ya devolution. Na tunahitaji investors. Investor wakuja wajenge mahoteli mzuri kama hii. Tunahitaji watu waingie huko. Kwa hivyo hiyo inalidiwa na Paul na huyo anaitwa Dr. Wanjiko. Kwa hivyo kuna Kuna ingine inaitwa hii ya samaki ambaye kuna samaki siku hizi tunatengenezwa Turkana. Kuna hao watu ambaye inaitwa village what? Village industries ambaye inatengeneza samaki, mambo ya samaki kwa add value iko upande ya Turkana ambaye ni ya private. So na pia tunarudisha shukrani kwao. Kwa hivyo kwa hayo sitaenda mengi kwa sababu masaa imeenda. Kwa hivyo hao tutawarudishia shukrani kwa yale kazi wametufanyia na kwa yale ambayo unajua ni kazi ya kujitoa. Kwa hivyo tunawashukuru na waendelee namna hiyo. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And already the cameramen are exciting us about the next stage, isn't it? So we will be led in getting to understand the businesses and getting to see them by Francis Dome, the CEO of the TCC. So what I'd like for us to do is to follow him, and then he would be able to speak to us about the businesses that we have just met. So from me, thank you. It's been lovely hosting you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll follow Francis.
Because of because of COVID protocols, we need to maintain some distance from the exhibition stands. So at least 2 or 3 people at a time, but from some distance so that we ensure there's a seamless flow. Follow me.
Nisaidieni kuwepo, nijenge taifa langu, nilete matumaini kwa jamii na familia yangu. Nitakuwepo, nitajitolea, nitimize lengo letu.
Exhibition of the stands. Okay, so I will start with the team that is in front, so that we just upload 2 of us. There's a camera. Okay, now this is the livestock team. You can just quickly go through what is presenting.
To the livestock store. I'm Loyapan Jeremy. These are our animals. This is the samples. So we can only bring all the animals. So this is the sheep or rams, grade 1. We also export. We have the he goats here. Also export. These are grade 1 goats. We have here the animals have been sorted according to grades. Like this is grade 2. When they are transported, okay, we have the opportunity for the youth. The youth are putting on having bicycles to transport them either to the market or to the slaughterhouses. So we have the camel. So before you sort the animals here, the herd, this is how they are spread around the sale yard. So here they have been grouped by the business people, especially who want to wed. If you want to wed, you also there's a size of the animals that you want to use for wedding. So here they have been sorted for wedding purposes. You see, you can see the size. Here we have the traders who are exporting these animals for external markets. Like here we have the Somali. They have sorted animals according to the grades they want. Specifically here they are grading for they want grade 2 and grade 3. So here what they have done, after sorting, they counter check whether all the animals that have been bought are there and the equivalent or commensurate of what they have used. After sorting, they do now the mark. They have already marked to show that this is the identity, that this is mine, so that you cannot lose the animal. The ones. After now this process, what do? You take them for water. We have water traps in the sale yard. Immediately when you do the watering, you now bring the animals together again to check whether all the animals that were brought in after selling, how many have made and how many are now going for grazing. So after doing that process of counter checking, the animals now leave the market for grazing. So that's the short story.
Okay. Okay.
The pricing, okay. The grade one sheep is 4,000 to 4,500. Then grade one he goats go between 4,500 to 5,000. Then camels they range between 30 to 40,000. Grade one. So this guy has the price for this grade. The last grade, that is grade 4, grade 5. They go at the price of 2,000.
Where do you export them to?
Okay, we export to Saudi Arabia.
Directly?
We go through the Nairobi market. Yeah, Nairobi market. They are brought as live goats. They are slaughtered here. Then that's what they get translated to Saudi Arabia.
No, the reason I was asking is that we don't export a lot of meat as a country. The meat is taken to Somalia and we sell it for the amount that you're saying, and then Somalia exports it to the Middle East for 3 times the amount.
In fact, that's what they are doing. They export as Somali products, but our boats discuss.
Okay. You see, they're not, when they go to Dubai, they're not your goods. Because there are investors who are willing to take the meat, or when there's an investor who wants to start goat chips.
Okay, this is a Turkana ware exhibited by Elizabeth Lokiringo, who is an expert in all these beautiful Turkana ware. Maybe she can tell us what she has here. Tuelezee tu, onyeshe hii ni gani, ile original.
Ni original hapa.
Inua juu. Inua mama.
Yes. Hii ni ngozi ya mbuzi. Sasa tunatengeneza na kutoa hiyo maziwa. Hapo. Na bakisha huko ndio kushikia.
Sasa hii inavaliwa kiaje?
Unafaa kwenye nimeweka
kama leso. Hii nyingine.
Au kipiga na pesa.
Hii unafaa na hapa kama.
No, come
Go nyuma. Okay, saidi. Okay, na sasa na hii sasa hii gani? Go gani na nani? Okay. Ameshikilia. Okay.
Tumetengeneza hii na
ile moda.
Ile moda. Sasa hii ni wapi?
We want to see, we are seeing only yours. We want to see you there, being shown that. Mommy, don't put it down yet. So we want to see your faces on there. Yes. That's what you are saying. Yes. That's the picture.
So I can wear, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, not the front.
No, there's the front one.
The front one. Then the front, where is the front one?
Where's the front one?
It's a small one.
So now I can pose. What is that?
Okay, this is modern. This is the original one.
Grand Kenya. This is
Grand Kenya.
Yes. So first, yes, muonyeshe kwanza. Now look at us.
Okay, look at the camera.
Look at the camera. I know you are laughing. I want her in the picture because she's the one showing me.
I can be the ambassador for this.
Yes, exactly. Mommy, now look up.
Okay, look at the camera.
Yes.
Let's do it properly.
Yes, put properly. Yes. And you pose.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, can I say something?
Yes, please.
She's a daughter of Turkana, so you should be wearing this.
Let her join. Just join. Okay. Yeah, please.
We just took her in love, so you see, there's business already between Turkana. She's a Jores, yeah.
Okay, because of time. Okay.
Francis,
Yes.
she's your daughter.
Oh, yeah.
So you need to. Yes. Yes.
Okay, eyes on the camera. The number of the people in the picture. So we need to reduce this for COVID reasons.
This one you can go with it at home at home.
Thank you. Now, charges. What are the charges? What are the charges? Charges.
For the whole kit, because I want a Masai one. And when is the cultural festival so we can come?
It's in August. It's in August.
I take you for your
It will be in August.
Next. Yes. Let's now come to the handcraft, Turkana handcraft. Yes.
Now, next, I'm exhibiting Turkana handicrafts. That is specifically the Turkana baskets. We produce our baskets from a tree called dum palm. In Turkana, we call it a mol. And the tree grows along the seasonal rivers in Turkana land. So here we have a few products. We have a number of them at Gigiri. We have a shop at Gigiri. We call it Crafty Center. But today, this is what we were able to bring them down here. So this is a laundry basket. You use it to keep your clean clothes or dirty clothes. During different seasons of the year, you can keep your clean clothes here. Maybe the blankets, the duvets, you keep them here. We produce them in different sizes, ranging from 25 inches to the smallest size, which is 5 inches. Then we also produce them in different colors. If you want it with a pattern like this one here, if you want it colored like this one, turquoise, we have blue, we have red, we have pink, quite a range of colors. We also produce them in different sizes. Then if you want it plain, just plain like that, we also produce them. Then we produce the square baskets as well, apart from the round ones. I also produce the oval baskets. Apart from that, we also have the bread baskets. And we produce them in different sizes, depending on what you want. We produce them in different colors. Like today I came with something with yellow, something with black, just for the display. Apart from that, we do the table mats. I have table mats here for your tables. These ones, we make them in sets of 6. So it will depend with the color that you want. If you want it with this decoration and with black or any other color, we are able to customize. We have pot mats for your sufurias. This will help you to protect your tables. So when you are cooking in the kitchen, you keep them there. We have the handles so that you can hang them somewhere in your kitchen. Then we have the wall mats. You can have the handles, or you can have a hook where you can hang it somewhere. This one, sometimes we also use them for the decoration for your watches. The clock in your house, you can put it inside here, then you leave the rest of the parts of it to be part of the decoration in your house.
What is this for?
That is a wooden ball. This is a wooden ball.
That's good.
It's a wooden ball. You can use it for soup, for your meal.
Come back. I want to come back. Take some, please.
We also supply for hotels. If you want quite a number of them, we supply for hotels.
So I'll come back. I want to take this.
You're welcome. Then we have the cards.
Okay, we want to capture this. Before you go, we want to capture him and this. Okay. Let's get this picture to capture you. Yes. Yes. Okay, I will come now. I want you to hold it. To hold the hand first, yeah? You got right. He takes a picture. Yeah.
Take a picture. You see that?
We have let's come beside now.
Sasa hizi kuna ya West Pokot, niko na Masai.
Haya. Sasa watukana hao leo Okay, we move. Yeah, we have seen this. Now this is for elders.
Okay. Karibuni. This is the minerals. White set of minerals, stones, precious stones. Yeah, these are the two the entrepreneurs. She's the one talking here.
Can move closer. Okay. Ma'am, you can move this side.
Yeah, sure.
Then she can be. Yes.
Okay. My name is Ayang Teresa. We are mining gold, precious stones, semi-precious, and industrial stones. And I think my colleague been able to explain more because he's expert in them. He will explain. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah.
Good.
I think all these products we offer to Turkana. So right now tunachimba hii ni green garment. Watu wako wanaita saffronite sababu inatoka safo. But hii inatoka sehemu moja inaitwa Lukrema na boda Uganda katika wanawasai. Inatoka na mkito dhamana. Hii ni sapphire, blue sapphire. Inatoka alluvial inapatikana juu. Watu wanakuta wajaenda underground. Na hii ni dhahabu inapatikana.
How much gold?
Per gram what?
Unajua ukitafuta investor,
yeah.
Hataki, one of the problems watu wengi wanasema wataki kufanya biashara na Wakenya. Tuna supply 2 months alafu imeisha.
So you need to bring your geologist, akuja quantify, angalie, atoe result, then aone kama inavyojua haifanani kote. Kwingine kuna kwa mingi utapata ndogo. So hii madini haya yote yanapatikana.
Kwa hivyo hii madini iko mingi ama
iko mingi?
No, sina tofauti.
Unajua kwa sababu sisi tulisikia Kenya vile investors walikuja wakauziwa hewa. Nilikuwa nifanya kazi na airline zamani na nilikuwa tunachukua dhahabu kutoka DRC tunapeleka Dubai. Alafu wengine wakakuja wakaanza kudanganyana. Tena unfortunately ni investors wetu wa Kenya. Sasa watu wametuogopa.
Watu unajua kuna watapeli wapo.
Watapeli ni wengi sana.
Watapeli wapo.
Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kujua assurance gani. Unajua kwa sababu na sisi tukienda tutafute mtu alafu akuje anyang'anywe.
hii yote inakuwa imeharibika. So maybe as a county, assurance gani mtatupatia ndio tukileta investors wakuje? Kuna wale wanataka dhahabu na ni wengi. Hii maneno ya dhahabu mpaka imeleta diplomatic row between Kenya and UAE. Because wa Kenya waliuza hewa. So what assurances mnatupatia as a county tukileta wafanyi biashara hawatauziwa mchanga?
So now that is from policy perspective.
The assurance is one, even from the chamber perspective, we get our traders who deal with gold, so that we just don't deal with anybody. So we we get those that are dealing with gold because they know what is gold. It is not only in this place where there are those married people. Even in Turkana, I remember one person took a padlock, a yellow padlock, crushed, and then sold it to another Turkana. They do. Sold it to another Turkana. And because that one saw this is gold, now I have got something here. Now after I left, and somebody who knew how to get a genuine gold, now when got some petrol or something, then put it there. Then it melted. Then now acid. Sulfuric acid. Then it melted. So that now showed that this is not true. So it is dealing with the right people who is prospecting in gold into Ghana, so that they get it. Any gold that is coming must pass through them, so that we ascertain it is a true product. Otherwise, if we allow them, anybody to sell to the investor, we are done.
Alafu pia hapa kwa hizi mawe tunatengeneza jewelry, tunataka kutengeneza jewelry. Ni ile bado tunatafuta machines ya kukata, put them into shells. Then we can be able to make jewelry we sell.
Hasa kama hii ni mawe expensive sana.
Hiyo green garnet.
Green garnet iko expensive sana.
Na sapphire?
Sapphire pia the same.
Sapphire is good, gold is good. Na wale watu wa investors wako. Si ati hakuna. So kabla hatujapiga duru, hatujapiga kelele huko nje, my suggestion mheshimiwa ilikuwa you need to get your house in order. Ndio mjue wale watu wanauza hizi madini ni watu aina gani? Ni watu watapeli, ni watu wa kisawasawa. Kwa sababu the minute as I speak, there was sijui kama mlifuata, there was a big diplomatic row between Kenya and DRC. Unaona?
Hata kuna ingine ya DRC bado.
Hata ya DRC haijaisha bado. So for us to develop this sector, ni lazima kwanza tujitengeneze sisi nyumbani, tujue ni watu wagani ndio wanafanya hiyo biashara, wakuwe ni watu ambao nyinyi you can vouch for them, so that by the time chamber ikiingiza mguu yake hapo ndani, tunajua we are dealing with, because chamber is a global movement. The minute chamber ikiingiza mguu wake alafu iwe ni biashara sio sawa, you will not only have messed for Turkana, you will have messed for the entire country, because we are a global movement. Unajua, and we give certificate of origin as well.
In addition, I think to this, allow me to wear the other hat. As a chemist, nimeona hizi vitu zote nilisoma nikiwa university. Lakini sikujua viko hapa kwetu.
Like Woodstone, I never knew.
Kila ambacho ningependa kusema, lazima sasa county keti. Then you lay a structure on how you can do this. You know, si lazima mtu mmoja ndiye anafanya. Sasa kama ni kikundi fulani, it could be a cooperative, it could be some grouping that is doing this. I know we have that tuko na hii department katika chamber ambayo inadeal na mining. Pia sasa
there's a subcommittee on mining.
Committee on mining. So ni nini hasa kinaweza kufanyika? Most importantly, dada asante. How can we add value on this? Badala sisi tuuze raw tufanye bila amesema. So that we have investors who can even invest there mpaka ifanye mpaka tukue hata kama iko kidogo ile dada Fatima amesema CVP kama ni kidogo haitaweza enda kwa volumes ya ile ya kwenda kama raw commodity. Basi hiyo kidogo tuna advance inatupatia faida nyingi.
Hizi za kwenda kwa matano hizi titanium mbili hii inaenda na tuko na mlima na mlima.
Basi hata hiyo shukuru, lakini tutakuwa kuchunga nayo pia. Thank you.
Sasa karibuni next.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you again. I'll come back and take a picture. You're looking so cool.
Now we are in farming.
Okay, we'll talk.
Hata ukulima mnafanya kula?
Agribusiness. Yes. This sweet producers are from irrigation. This is the Turkana asali and Turkana mangoes. This is also watermelon. This is from Katima. They're harvested and are less friendly. That's why they are elevated, because they are friendly to the desert. You know, some of the crops cannot grow in Turkana because they are not desert friendly because of water. So these are some of the foods that are found from Katima. We sell one at
Allow me to this time. I come from Mafra County.
Yes.
Sweet mangoes.
Yes.
Could you show the watermelon? Show them all the watermelon. Yeah.
The watermelon we grow. We need where we can export such a product so that our farmers are motivated. Yes, we grow. Mama. Sali sasa.
So I have to how do you end up here?
Yes, nimetoka Turkana, Daima South County.
Daima is neighbor in Uganda.
For the picture?
Okay.
Okay, take the picture.
Tunatumia locally lakini kwa sasa hivi kwa mfadhili kupata machines ya process kutoka kwa LMS.
Now I am here. I want to see you with the product.
Utanisamehe, wacha tuulize maswali if you don't mind. Hii asali ni ya bees ama hii asali ni gani?
Hii asali ni ya bees ambayo tumeweka kwa hives.
Haijachanganywa. The reason why nauliza mama ni kwa sababu there is an expo of honey in Qatar every year. Last before COVID tulipeleka watu, lakini Turkana did not participate. Tukapeleka watu kutoka West Pokot. Lakini sasa kitu kingine ni kujua hii asali kama in process, na hii asali wanataka kujua. Another thing export market wants to know, bees aina gani, wanataka kila kitu mtu ajue. Na unajua kule mimi natoka pia kuna maembe na kuna asali. Sasa kuna asali ile ya wild bees, kuna asali ile asia maembe. It's where the bees wanakula, wengine wanakula miti gani, kwa sababu miti ingine ni dawa, miti ingine ni sumu. Sasa ikiwa tunataka ku-export this, unajua the challenge we have as Kenyans, we don't take this thing seriously, but the export market anataka ajue paka yule ni aje. So for us to be able to get into the export market, I want to buy some because I want to give the ambassador of Qatar akule ye mwenyewe. But the thing is ataniuliza
zingine zinakula mtama wakati tunapanda, tunakula maua, zingine zinakula post office wakati na nini, unajua prosopis ni resistance hata wakati wa ukame unatoa maua. Sasa ndio sasa na advantage kwa sisi watu wa Kenya. Ingawaje ni kizazi kwa watu wa livestock, sababu inamaliza sana ndizi. Lakini sisi kwa mara mbili asali yetu ya Turkana inapatikana mara ngapi? Tatu kulingana na kala. Sana asali yetu iko dark black. Na watu wanasema kwa nini nyeusi? Lakini kwa sababu zinakula maua tofauti na tena kwetu kuna jua kali. Nectar hapa hilo iko light. That's why asali yetu nzuri kuliko ya West Pokot, kuliko ya Baringo.
Actually tulipeleka Baringo.
Sasa hiyo ndio difference. Sawa. Sasa inafaa kama wakati export lazima ugawe. Sasa kama hii ni ya prosopis, ni prosopis na asali ya prosopis sio sawa na ile ya country ama ile tofauti. Naeka tu kulingana na vile wameeleza. Sasa zingine ukienda kuna asali ya mlima inakula hii aloe vera na hizo mamiti mingine. Hii asali ya aloe vera unajua utasikia ukali. Ile ya yellow kibi moto la. Aloe vera na mamiti mingine kali tu. Sasa iko tofauti.
Kwa hiyo mama tungesema nitarudi as I promise nataka kununua asali, nataka kuzingatia ambassador, lakini ningependa na wewe useme hii asali hii ni asali from, unajua huku kwetu kuna kitu inaitwa Boni Forest where I come from. There's a lot of honey, and I can tell you nikionja tu nitakwambia kama hii asali ni, unajua coast hatukuli mchele peke yake. So tafanya hivyo, alafu ile kitu nilikwambia because it's something that we can export. As I said, there is honey export every year. Kila mwaka itoka, lakini msifikiri asali inatoka Kenya peke yake. Sasa wewe already una compete kutoka coast, kutoka Baringo and West Pokot. But our biggest competitor of honey ni watu kutoka Iran. Yes, they have a lot of honey. Tatuandikia hizo ukienda ukiulizwa nisikae kama sijui.
Kabla hujafanya hivyo, acha hata mimi nikwambie ile kitu itanifanya nisoee kabla nifike kwa hiyo. Unaona hii asali yangu bado haijasambutiwa.
Caps.
Mpaka isanguliwe sio kwamba
it was a natural one.
Inafaa iende. Sasa mimi bado yangu ni
wakati wa Kenya peke yake.
Kenya yaani tu people around wengine Nairobi Lodwar lakini bado
what I'm saying is, do you give me permission to give the ambassadors this hand?
Yeah. Good. Sasa nataka ukali hivi ndio uone macho yako uwe. Usie. So nataka udisia. Lakini nataka angalieni hapa angalieni nyinyi wote.
Hiyo asali yako umesema iko na aina tatu. So kila aina andika mambo yake, imetoka wapi? Ni ya acacia, ni ya
Loima Forest.
Ya B aina gani? Inatoka
alafu
inasaidia nini? Alafu unaweka inaunganisha na, kwa sababu maandishi haya yote ni moja. Sasa unajua maandishi yakiwa moja
sasa hii picha yote mnaongea sitaki ya kuongea. Nilikuwa nataka mna display yeye ashike ni kama mnaonyesha this is our product. Na nyinyi tu. So mkiniangalia sasa onyesheni the camera like this. Angalieni basi hapa. Wewe una kitu kwa mkono.
Okay.
So show me mkama macho. Oh sorry. Okay. So show me.
I'll put them in a
Haya, twende 1 2 3. Nice.
Good.
Okay. Second Vice President.
Yes.
I have the pleasure to invite
To the cradle of state.
the hospitality industry.
Stayed in the cradle.
As we say, the big investments that is required, great potential in the hospitality industry. And we have the pleasure to invite Dr. Anjiko.
Yes, can you hear me, sir? Yes, my name is Dr. Nanyai. I'm the proprietor of the Cradle Technical Council Board. We've been in the council for the last 6 years, and we are seated on 17 acres of our land. We have 30 various rooms, and another 30 are actually under construction. In terms of conferencing, we are the biggest in the county. We have 3 conference facilities that hold up to about 600 delegates at any one particular time. We have a swimming pool. We have more than how many trees? Probably we've planted so many trees at the trail, so that we have our own micro environment. What we are looking is true. The tourism industry has been affected because we really wanted to. We had an expansion plan, but because of COVID, we've had to shelve all that. But we already have land at the Lake Turkana, and we are looking into building another of our, as part of our expansion, we're looking to now build another camp at the lake. So we're looking for strategic partners who we can partner with in Kenya and in Kenya, people that we can actually, because hospitality is still a challenge. There's still very few facilities as a large. But thank you very much. And you have stayed here. At least then we are also having, I'm sure, I think we'll be having the cultural festival this year. So karibuni sana, and you have a very beautiful place home away from home that you can stay.
May I make a request? Yes. There was a request, Mheshimiwa, recently. You see, we have an we have been looking at traditional markets. You see, Kenya has always been looking at Europe. Yes. Europe is saturated, right? We need to look at other markets. So the other day, we had a delegation that came from Dubai, and they were saying, if you'd be willing to sponsor, and now that the cultural festival is there, some people were in the industry, within the hospitality industry in the Gulf, wakuja, muwaweke, wageni. My previous life, I used to be in airline and hospitality. They come and they write about you and they promote you because then you get brand ambassadors. This is something you may want to consider, you may want to think about, and we can work from now. Tulete watu wakuje, waone the experience. You see, now I have experienced the cradle. But if you tell anybody, a hotel is a hotel is a hotel. Unless you've experienced, you know, what you're talking about, the rooms are big, the grounds are big, the food is good, you know.
Environment is good.
Yeah. You may want to. I think it's something you need to take seriously. Invite some people through our networks with the embassies or to let people within the industry so that they can go and they can advertise you. That kind of advertisement is 1,000 times papers and newspapers.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Now you think that when we go home, we have to sit?
Yes. I think look at it seriously.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But I met somebody else from the cradle.
Oh, maybe room, but he's not here. Yeah, that's
Now, welcome to the blue economy. Still blue economy. The fish sector.
I think I should be adopted.
Yes.
Because everything you have is
Yes, very good. So now let's go through. Apu, take us through what you have. Oh, yes.
So here is Valley Villages. We are based in Lake Turkana, and we are focusing on value addition because we realize that fishermen along the lake have not been able to fully exploit the potential in the lake, and we realize that the fish skin is the most expensive skin in the world, and its products are the highest paid products in the world. And they are mainly used by celebrities, and the most now people are getting them from Paris. And they come here, they buy this fish, they go and leather it, and then they sell it expensively. So why don't you bring it locally, and why don't we add value addition into the fish? So this is part of what we have done. And not just this, we are doing food production for animal feeds, so that from the fish we are also making animal feeds. So that now fish is not, it does not go on waste. That everything in fish is well used, and all this goes back to giving back to the fish farmer who has been getting very low income from the fish.
The question is, are you selling, once you have got the leather,
yes,
are you selling it or you are using it to make ready end-use products?
Yes, so the idea here is, once these ones are made, we empower the local women through our valley villages. Because historically, men go fish, they get all the money, but women get very little out of it. But now how do we empower the women? We get them this skin, and they earn more than even their husbands.
So they make products that they are able to sell.
Yes, exactly. And when these products are sold, they always have a tag. And you can scan the tag, and the tag will tell you the history of the woman and what the woman wants to do with the money and something like that.
This is exciting. Where do you export this? I'm about to this is at infancy stage.
We are still at the infancy stage. We are still making local small productions. But when we did the first production, the market was overwhelming.
The local markets?
Yes, the local markets and the national market. Yes. And even people come to Loropio looking for this skin, but we told them we are still working with the environmental departments to get certification, because again we are close to the lake, and we need to make sure that we are doing tanning.
How strong is that?
Very strong. Very strong.
The reason is, Matunda, we are also working. You see, the Italian government, the big the ladies will know,
yes,
the Gucci, they are working with the Ethiopians, and they've developed the Ethiopian industry of leather. I heard it just kwenye conference, so I took the initiative and I contacted the Italians here. And now the Italians in Kenya are actually working with the leather sector, and they are looking at developing our leather. Actually, they're doing with Narok and counties. Lakini wakasema wanatafuta other types alternative.
Yes. Wow. Now they're here. And you see, the beauty of the fish skin is that the veins are interlocking like this. So it makes the most hardest, strongest skin ever.
I get in touch, Francis.
Yes.
This is good.
Okay, thank you. Asanteni sana.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Wow. I need to come back for this. You know what, I'm serious. I'm taking you to the ambassador.
Ile exhibition next to the other. Tutakuwa mnabeba a demonstration.
Nisaidieni kuwepo, nijenge taifa langu familia yangu. Nitakuwepo, nitajitolea, nitimize lengo letu, sisi wana Kenya. Amkeni ndugu zetu, tufanye kazi sote, tutukuze nchi yetu, tujitolee kwa kila aina, ili tulete maendeleo kote nchini. Nitakuwepo, nitajitolea, nitimize lengo letu, sisi wana Kenya, na tujenge taifa letu, tujivunie sisi wa Kenya, na tujenge taifa letu, tukae kwa amani, tupate ustawi, na tujenge taifa letu, tulinde, tuwajibike, tuheshimike, na tujenge